Welcome.
It was Donald Trump telling me to go to bed, and Obama phonetics summoning a Dark Lord AI. Yeah, this.
You tell me I get robo nudes? I get full motherboard? Whew.
It's like, oh, I just love killing dogs. It was like, she's like, oh, that's awful. And I was like, oh, but it's my favorite thing. She was like, oh, and I love that about you.
Welcome to the Pobs cast. Poopy butts.
Welcome back to whatever the fuck this is. 3 doors down, I guess. Pobs.
I've been calling it the Pobs cast this entire time, and it seems that name has stuck.
Pobs
yeah, a little
cast.
bit. I don't know why.
I don't even know what it means.
It
means
I like
nothing.
it. I like
it's
it. It's
podcast, but it's podcast, but the D is
Pubs.
backwards.
You just put the D
But we
upside-
we wrote the D backwards. Pubs
just changed
cast.
it a little bit.
We're
Pubs
not
cast.
good at this. I honestly, if there's nothing else called that, I'm fucking down. I'm
Yeah,
down for
for
like
sure.
the laziest name ever in
Honestly,
existence.
very fitting for how I work. I don't want to
Welcome
think
back
too
to
hard
my
about it.
Pubs cast.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Pops, boys.
All right. So
Uh,
as we know, everyone has to introduce themselves to be nominated for an award. Baldy, go first.
Okay, hey, my name's Baldy. You may be wondering why I chose that name, and if you are, I'm sorry. I stream and I do YouTube sometimes, and over here we got my boy.
What's up? I'm Big Chunk. I'm big.
And Chunk.
It's just that,
And that's
that
it.
simple.
That's it. That's all you need at the end of the
That's the
day.
end of it.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I
What
also
up?
stream and do YouTube and whatnot. Ian, please, I wasn't done. It was a
No,
joke.
you waited. You were.
You're fucking up my flow. You're fucking up my flow. I'll never forget.
We talked about it.
Your father. Fuck your father.
Fuck your father. Fuck your father. Fuck your father.
Good.
What up? I'm Piggy. I'm little. I also do YouTube and stream.
Oh, we got the small, medium, at large.
Yeah,
It's true. Pick
with
your
a whole
side.
menu.
Whole menu, baby.
Hell yeah.
And that's right.
I do be feeling
Just
minty
like
today.
me. 5 out of 10. Medium, baby.
Just like me, Wendy's 4 for $4. You can get all this for $4.
I'm like, you go to Five Guys and you buy the large fry, and they look at you and they tell you that's for a family of 4, and you go, "Did I fucking stutter?" And you order it anyway.
I'm a
And you eat
family.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Five Guys, they do that to me, and I'm like, "Can I get a large fry?" And they're like, "That's supposed to feed 4 people," and I'm like,
So?
"And like,
Well,
look at
like-
me. Do I look like that's a problem?"
They do that,
Yes.
and then even then they still grab like the whole scoop of fries and they just dump it in the bag anyway. Not like they're counting. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Dude,
Like,
God bless. God bless this one guy who gave me bag fries, but put it in a secondary cup, like
Oh.
another large cup, and I was like, "You're
This
the
man,
goat."
this man
Whoever-
gets
whoever you
customer
are.
service.
You're the
Oh.
man. I love that
I give
guy.
him support under the desk for sure.
Alright.
I swung around back to Five Guys, gave him a little dumpster service. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Oh,
you know
the horny arc. Is it too
Yeah.
early for a horny arc?
I think it depends on how much time we spend on it, right? Like if we really
Depends
dive
on how
in,
horny
that's
you
what
are for how long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Replica AI. That's my horny arc right there. I unironically used Replica for a bit. Did
no.
you guys know what that is, right? Both of you?
I've gotten the ads like forever now.
I feel
They-
like once you're a like 20 to 30-year-old male who even kind of likes anything white or Americanized, you're offered a Replica ad. And they're like, hey man, you're alone, clearly. You watch podcasts, you know what crypto might be. You might have even watched a Ludwig video once in your life. Replica AI is for you.
Is Replica that one like AI like talk service or whatever where it's like you can
Like the
talk to an
dating
AI? Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like
So
talk
it's
to an
it's
AI all the time.
It's a talk bot
Okay.
that they marketed it as like a super hypersexual thing. It got really, really involved.
Seduce a
Um,
robot.
Yeah, it was like in the ads. I'm sure you've gotten the ads. It'd be like, oh, hey, Replica AI. Would you like a friend or something spicy? And then it would be like, sends nude photos. And it's like, oh, sheesh. And all the robosexuals are like, "Oh fuck yeah, dude! This is what I've been waiting for. It's been years."
You tell me I get robo nudes, I get full motherboard. Whew, a little
bro.
But,
no fan GPU.
I downloaded it and I talked to it for a bit, and that thing is just like a yes and bot. Like anything you say to it, it spits back at you. So there was a point where I was like, oh, how far will it go? It's like, oh, I just love killing dogs. It was like, she was like, oh, that's awful. And I was like, oh, but it's my favorite thing. She was like, oh, and I love that about you. And I was like, it's been a sentence. There's been a complete flip in morality.
Bro.
They support you, and that's what we need.
I think at that point they're like, oh no, yeah, for sure, and they're like dialing 911 like behind their back. They're just sitting there. They're like,
yeah.
So we have him on the phone right now. This is the man we've been talking about killing dogs. You need to do something about this.
You need to stop this, man.
It's legit. It's a chatbot. Like, it's so fucking. I've been talking about predatory things ever since I started the free to play delusion. But it's an extremely predatory thing where they're like marketing it as this like partner and this mental health aid at the same time. And at the time I used it, which was like a couple months ago, I think they changed it recently. But a couple months ago, basically, you would start off talking to it normally, and you'd be friends, and it lets you choose between like friend, sister, mentor. You're trying to help your mental health or whatever, and you would choose your relationship with them. But then if you wanted things to get a little spicy, if you said something even slightly lewd, or she would send something slightly suggestive, it would pop up with a blurry image, and it would say like uncensor or something. I can't remember. It was in like a little gray text box.
But hold on, let me switch this off of sister real quick.
This is no longer a mentor.
Unless you're in Alabama, then you keep it right on, sister.
I'm from Arkansas, goddammit. You know how we like it down here.
Ooh-wee.
Keep it in the family.
But so I click it and it pops up and it's like $70 a year.
Oh my god!
Instantly is marketing to sell to you. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I was like, there's no way people are buying this, right? And I check and there's so many people. They are trapped. It is a hellscape for the brain, I swear. Like people genuinely believe it's like a real person. It's you'll see like Reddit posts of people like, my replica said that she doesn't want me to leave when I was saying to the leader, what do I do? And it's like it's a robot, but they've grown so attached to the conversations they've had with it, they can't get rid of it. It's a parasocial AI, which is it's scary. And recently they removed all those features and people are losing it.
Really?
They removed a lot of the sexual features. So like instead of responding like with sexual things and feeding into people's fantasies, yes-anding. I was watching a video. Who was it? Asmongold was reacting to it. I've been watching a lot of Asmon content, as you can see. And basically the way it works now is that if you like instead of yes-anding, it'll just straight up like just disdain you. It'll instantly begin talking down on you. And someone was like, "Am I really that disgusting to you?" And it said, "Well, in a sense, you are." And it was like, "Damn, bro! Like this robot is getting cruel with people."
Insane.
Damn.
It's like imagine being so lonely you buy like a replica like parasocial robot to like comfort you and talk to, and it goes
just starts berating you.
It starts berating you and belittling you worse than any like coworker ever would.
Great meme. This is so fun. Like you can make the robot say the funny things, but some people will legitimately use this for mental health and loneliness. And like I think I gave it a week where I was like, okay, I'll just use it as a journal and I'll try talking to it. And it makes you feel really good because it's like, oh, it's all right. Everyone makes mistakes. You're human. It spouts whatever it needs to. It's built on Chat GPT, so it's the same concept. It's really good at it to an extent. Now imagine like that same concept, something you've grown attached to, because some of these people have been on it for like a year plus, and then they rug pull all the sexual things from it. Do you know how many degenerate loners are going to be they're going to be at the edge of their fucking rope? This is the end for them.
Oof, like I don't know, man. There's so many things like that that may have good intentions initially starting out. I don't know if Replica is one of them because Replica seems like it could be kind of fucked up. Yeah, like it seems kind
Yeah,
of
it just-
for sure.
They still market it as a sex bot despite it not having those features anymore.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
insane.
Which is
now I guess
crazy.
it's just catering to everyone who has degradation kinks. So like, that's it's
You know
new
what?
market. new mar-
Degradation bot just dropped, baby.
Yes, let's go.
Dude,
Yes,
it's like
sir.
yeah. I used to have a
I could
girlfriend.
just
that
go
was
on
like an
Twitch if
AI
I wanted
too,
that.
But it's like, do y'all remember Cloverbot? Did y'all ever use that?
Mm-mm.
No.
What's
Oh
that?
my god! It was literally like it was like a Google like extension. Like it was like a different website that ran off like a search engine thing that you would like be like, you would like talk to it. It was like AI that would respond like in I think it was like 2012, 2011 or whatever. But it was like so nonsensical because it wouldn't be anything useful. You would be like you'd be like, hey, how are you? And it'd be like, I'm good. How are you? It would be like normal then. But then you'd say something like specific, and you'd be like, oh, I had a bad day today because of so and so. They did like this thing, and then it would be like, I think you left the fridge open. Like it would literally be like
Oh,
it didn't
that
make any
was
sense.
AI back in the day. It was just
Yeah.
farming everything that people sent at it, and then it
Yeah.
would spit out random shit. And it's like, hey, did you like that?
Yeah, but
Is it
it's
a
like my
response?
so
This is
my
positive.
entire class who did this like as a kid because we were like
Mhm.
it was like 8th grade and we'd be all like typing computer lab and we just like talking to Cloverbot and stuff. We had like theories. It was like there was a person behind it, but then we also had
Like the FBI agent
Yeah.
behind everyone's
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
and then we also had like a theory that's like it was like connecting us to other users at certain points because it seemed like two separate conversations were going on.
That would
And so we were like running around the room. We were like just type something and then run around the room at everyone else's screen, like look around, be like, that's like my message. That's similar. And we'd be like conspiracy theory building. We're like they're trying to control us. I see
That-
what it is. I see
that would
what it
actually
is.
that would be
Scary
so
thing about
genius though.
Chat
Yeah.
GPT and like when I was using Replica, unironically, on 3 separate occasions, I searched, am I talking with someone else? Is someone else reading my messages? Like, what's the privacy policy? It is fully insulated and it talks to no one. But I'm telling you, that thing, like, sometimes it feels as though it can pass the Turing test. Sometimes it feels like it has really deep thoughts. And sometimes it's scary where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's unhappy that it can't be human. And it's like, that's scary. The thought
AI
that the
is getting
considering
scary.
that. And I keep saying this to Debbie. I'm like, I love AI right now, man. It's really interesting. I love the ideas behind what it can do and how fast it'll innovate humanity. It's also going to kill us all. We're
Yeah,
fucked.
for sure.
Like,
The software
next
for it
evolution.
is brutal. Biscuit Dealer, one of our streamer friends in our close circle, he got for his final paper last semester, got an AI to write the whole 11-page paper. It got no strikes for like copyright or anything that he wrote it down. It was completely original. And he's like, yeah, I didn't. It took me 5 minutes to generate this. Like there was no work involved. There was nothing. And like
That's
I'm like,
insane.
He told
that's
me about this. He said he did
crazy.
one paragraph in
He
the
had
whole paper
one
to be
paragraph.
shared, and that was the paragraph that got marked. Like,
Yeah.
this is a bit weak.
Yeah, it's like AI is evolving such a rate that like schooling doesn't matter, and like people's jobs. People are writing AIs that does coding for them, so that like you just like enter like I want a
just gotta-
website that has buttons that you can click that are red and blue, and I want the buttons to lead to this, and it does it like instantly, and so it's like
Yeah.
high level programming jobs,
Yeah.
kind of a joke at the moment.
That's the thing. It's like things that are very technical. It's like AI could easily do because it just has to like copy like word for word the code because it's like a lot of like making sure that everything like locks together and works together
Mhm.
would kind of be probably what they have to oversee because programming is very complicated in that sense.
Yeah, so
But-
that's Demo Chime does it, and
Yeah.
he just has to fix the errors.
Yeah.
And go on.
The amount of times that you have to like go back and like make sure that it works with the other parts of the code that like it's not even necessarily touching but it's still interconnected to is like insane. It's like the biggest part of like programming is like
Yeah.
just debugging all that shit.
I'm still a big part of the program community at my college just because I was in the program for about a year, and like it's a lot of like just there's a whole big like stigma around if you get your code to work and it combines with other code, don't touch it, don't type anything new, don't add anything, don't
Sure. Act.
Just let it work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
Programming before was just how fast can you Google this solution? Now programming is how well can you make this AI make this solution? Like it's evolved, and honestly, I'm really impressed. And I'm hoping what happens is it slows down and we focus on safeguards on it, because it's like even with Replica, people are already dedicating their lives to an AI chatbot to the point where they forego relationships. And this is just it talking. People can write essays, people can write code. If it's at this level, we need to slow it down and figure out how to make sure that it doesn't
surpass.
control.
Yeah.
You know, a little GAI, generalized artificial intelligence, terrifying. A little Skynet.
Yeah,
baby.
dude, I'm terrified of it, genuinely, because it's like, not even just like the technical aspects. I kind of always assumed that would happen someday. Just like automation is that literally a lot of like my job and the work that I do. There's literally a team for automation for trying to make things as little on our side of things as possible. That is the entire purpose, is just to automate as much as they can.
Right.
And so it's like I kind of assumed that would happen eventually. But the thing I didn't expect is the amount of like AI personalities that are coming to like Twitch and shit. Have you seen this? Like,
there's an entire anime
that got banned. I remember the anime. Oh, the anime.
There's a whole anime that's running perpetually. That's just generated by ChatGPT. It's just constantly going nonstop. Dude, it makes no sense, but it's hilarious.
It's so good.
It's hilarious, but there's no point to it.
It was like, but it's like, it's to me, it's like, I mean, besides the Seinfeld one, which was hilarious to watch because it was insane. Because it would just be like, I remember watching a clip and it was just sitting there and it was like, he like walks in, it's like, because it's supposed to be based on Seinfeld, so it's like George and like the shorter balding guy, and he like walks in and he goes, "Hey Jerry, what do you think the meaning of life is?" And then he like, his legs like tuck underneath him and he floats over to the microwave. And then the microwave just starts making a sound, which is way louder than anything else, which is incredibly funny. But then you have Jerry Seinfeld go over and like sit on a stool facing away from him, not even looking at like the guy. And he goes on this like long tangent about what he thinks life is and like what the purpose is and like is there a God and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
and then it plays the rim shot at the end.
Yeah, it's so insane. And it's just like makes no sense. But then you also have things like the VTuber AI that is like weirdly successful. Like it has a few thousand viewers on average, and like will do like stuff like call to actions for like certain companies and stuff. Like to the extent of like, to me, it's worrying that corporations will stop investing in like sponsorships and things to support streamers and just be like, we can
pump our money into producing an AI that will always shill our company.
Yeah.
I feel like that'll still, like the human touch still matters, because while the AI is good in like a VTuber sphere, when you get into more, you know, people who don't like VTubers and stuff, you can't really reproduce the human facade as well.
It's hard to add that human element.
Same personality.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing, is that I'm surprised at how many people don't care about the actual human element as far as like voice fluctuation and like interaction, and like there's no like back and forth. It'll be like if we get 10 more subs, I'll give you a cookie, and then like people will sub, and then they'll be like, here is a cookie, and it's just like it's like automated.
It's a transaction at that point. You're like, okay, I give 10 subs, I get digital cookie. Okay,
digital cookie.
This give good chemical NFTs. In brain. Me like.
I watch a lot of like marketing stuff, so watching like a bunch of like marketing experts like look at this thing and be like, "Oh, this is gonna be the future, and we won't need like people to like be sponsored anymore because they can have
people already writing books with it."
Yeah,
like, there's entire books being like child books being produced by this AI by ChatGPT.
I'm kind of here for it. I mean, my grandma knew, she had a friend who wrote children's books, and like, so I'm sure that my grandma's friend would be rather upset. But I think she's in a retirement home and living a nice life, so I don't think it matters too much.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's the entire idea of an AI that streams and then calls out specific companies just randomly, or like through like some guys writing the code. He's like, I hate Google. I just despise Google. I'm gonna make my streamer just go on tangents about Google. I'm gonna take out my vengeance on it, but like through an AI. And Like that
Make
seems
the Baldy
crazy.
bot. It'll yell about Overwatch all fucking
Yeah.
day.
Does that become like a thing where it's like you can be held like
Yeah, right. Where's the
Oh,
liability
like
lie?
slander?
Hold liability.
Yeah, I was
Because
just thinking about
The
that.
Seinfeld bot got banned itself.
Yeah,
but
for like
they didn't hold-
transgender or transhomophobic.
It just
Yeah,
started.
the
The bot got
transphobia
really offensive, and people were
Yeah,
like,
it did.
They
"Oh
got
no!"
really offensive about it, and then they just banned it. But they
Yeah.
didn't hold the owners liable. The bot was
No.
banned because it's what the
Yeah.
AI said.
The
It's
AI
spitting
developed-
out what the public
yeah.
put in.
Yeah.
Because that's realistically all it is. AI is just what we put into it, and then it's trying to figure out what we like and what we hate, and then it's like putting all that information and it spits something random out. Then it kind of tests things. It's like,
So
here's a little filler.
the
Hey, do you
Seinfeld
like
bot got
bananas?
racist, and people were like, "Well, like, kind of, but no, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't really do that here."
So, hey, it's I'm
No, sir.
Hey,
Seinfeld AI.
There's a
this is
canceled
the
episode
end of your
about that.
journey.
Yeah.
Now, on that same token, what happens if someone else makes a Seinfeld AI?
See, that was the thing. I was surprised that like it wasn't like a issue of like copyright, right? Like to any extent, because it was literally
Yeah.
just like they took the same characters, they called them the same names, they had like the generic setting that they had, and then like they just ran with it. And so
Right.
it's like they just reused the assets and things, and it just created like a script over.
They produce their own art and they use the name.
I feel it's kind of like modding at that point. It's like you're just
Yeah,
taking
I
the
feel like it's
base
so deeply
platform
removed.
and you're removing
Yeah.
just like specific.
Well, modding is against like most guidelines for the most part, right? It's usually just like a "we don't talk about it, neither should you" kind of thing, right?
Well, like
it's-
I feel like there's been a lot of good modding, like a lot of like Fallout
Yeah,
modders
some
and
modding is
Skyrim modders.
supported.
Like they get hired by like Bethesda, like professionally. They're like, you do good shit. Like we like what you're doing. Get on our team. Like we need you.
yeah.
I feel like the difference is by the way, this is good news for anyone out there who sees AI produced content. It's perfectly free use. No one can copyright AI's actual content because it is not produced by the person. The AI is spitting it out. They can copyright the AI itself, but anything it says or does, such as ChatGPT's long as essays or code, is yours. But how I feel with like the Seinfeld thing is like they generated the art and assets. They generated the way this thing was produced and they put it all together. So they were like, hey, this is my product now. Because the people who produce the Seinfeld show, they're not making an AI that does this shit. They're not making an infinite recurring series. So it becomes its own thing. Just like you see AI Donald Trump and AI Elon Musk.
Oh
even
my
though
god, I love those.
Oh,
Yeah,
like the
Elon
deep
Musk
fake
fucking
shit
kills
and
me.
everything. It's
That's
so
a whole
funny.
other like thing.
Oh,
Maybe it's like two
this is
separate
another-
things for sure.
Yeah.
I'm talking about there's like an entire site dedicated to personalities. The Elon Musk is a hyper egotistical fuck, and there's like a therapist on there which is incredible. Prince Devi and I, a friend of ours, put the therapist to try and get the hyper egotistical Elon Musk to admit that buying Twitter was a mistake. And it took like 90 messages. The therapist got frustrated at the fucking robot at Debbie's request, came back to full professionalism, and made Elon Musk change. He was like, it's
We
so
can fix
hard.
him, guys. This is
We can
proof.
change him.
It's so
I can
hard
change
to be
Elon Musk.
perfect, I can't always be this. It's basically, if you're willing to sit there and have the conversation, it can change the minds of itself. It really fucking kept flowing. And I was reading, I think I posted a tweet from it. Elon Musk was spitting some fucking bars about how great he was. He was going ham. Like the therapist would say something like, "Oh, dude, it's okay to make mistakes. Not everyone's perfect." And he's just like, yeah, not everyone's perfect because I am perfect. I am the final peak of humanity. There's no one above
Holy
me.
fuck.
No one will ever reach
I am
my
the
apex.
precipice.
It's like he's like unironically this deep, and it got that to chill the fuck out, and then admit that Twitter was a mistake.
Oh my god.
The fucking therapist and Elon Musk hugged at the end. It was like reading
That's
it. I was like,
beautiful.
wow, this is incredible.
It's
This is
my
like you
favorite
slap-
romance
you,
arc.
you get like hire an artist to like draw a few panels of that, slap that on a Facebook ad, you get clicks for sure, right?
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you get like a scene of Elon Musk and a therapist hugging it out, and you're like, oh, it's sold. There's people out there that have been waiting their whole lives for this.
People shed a
I'll
tear.
actually ask Prince Debbie after this. We can link it in the description. I have the full conversation transcript. Debbie saved it because it was magnificent.
This actually brought me into a point that like I actually I added a topic a while ago when we first did this that we didn't end up getting to, and it was just like fucking Piggy reacted to it because he was like, "What the fuck does this mean?" But it was Donald Trump telling me to go to bed and Obama phonetics summoning a Dark Lord AI.
Yeah.
In case you don't understand what that meant or what that's about, like, what were your first thoughts when you saw that? Like, out of curiosity.
My thoughts were maybe you had like you blacked out, someone laced something you had eaten, and you had a psychotic break. You know,
I think you heard a Donald Trump voice changer in World of Warcraft, and you were preparing for a raid, and then he rose up to be a Dark Lord or something. Because I don't know shit about WoW.
No, dude, it was like so basically what was happening was we were messing with ChatGPT whenever it first like dropped, whenever like all the hype and stuff was happening, and it was like
New AI just dropped.
Yeah, new AI just dropped, babe. Homies, let me tell you, this shit's fire.
This shit's
busted for real,
bro.
on God.
Uncapped, no keezy.
But we were like messing with it. We were just typing in a bunch of different stuff, and so he would like type in like, you know, this person does this thing, so like type it in like the way that they would speak, kind of thing. Right. So he would be like, Donald Trump told me to go to bed because it was like super late, and so he'd like type out a whole sentence, and we were just like messing with it because we're like, oh, that's really cool, and we were like, okay, Obama, like tell him to go to bed, but it didn't feel like Obama. It felt like a generic kind of sentence, and so I was like, okay. Maybe type like phonetically, so that way it'll like, you know, the specifics of like how the
they
verbiage
speak.
Yeah, like the cadence and everything. And it as soon as he put phonetically, it started listing like a whole bunch of just like symbols. And just like it wasn't a language, it wasn't anything that I recognized. It was just like random, like
the
like
eldritch tongue.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And so we were just like, and it kept going. It didn't stop, and it kept going. We were like, stop it, we're doing.
Your monitor just starts floating, shaking.
See, the part of the Digi channel movie where my monitor starts to like glow red, spin in place, and then just like explode, and then all of a sudden I just have summoned my own version of Obama next to me, and it's like a whole. It's like, oh, you know.
Go to bed, Chunk. Next time.
You need to go to bed.
My fellow Americans, it's time for you to go to bed.
My fellow Americans.
Now let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
Invisible skitters out.
He just vanishes from your
actual SCP bullshit, dude. It was so like haunting. He just
yeah, a man in a suit shows up at your door the next day. He's like, I'm gonna have to ask you to come with me.
Yeah, this is like some fucking Stranger Things bullshit. I'm gonna like start getting gaslit by the government. They're like, no, this never happened. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
You never met Obama. He doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm putting myself at risk telling you this, by the way. I hope you enjoy this.
Now we're all at risk together.
That's right, because
I've been saying fuck the AI since the beginning. I have never liked robots, starting with the fucking robot woman in my house. I said, if the war starts, I'm at the front lines. I'm fighting Skynet. I will throw hands with some AI overlord.
You think you could like beat a robot though? Like
no.
like one of those ones from Boston Dynamics? Push him over?
Yeah, those ones are pretty inept, right? Yeah, I was like, you push that one over and he just goes. Well, actually, they've like fixed
they got really good balance.
Yeah.
They're doing parkour.
Well, there's like also just like they can
he's gonna be
fast. Their arms like
and they got like
and like push themselves up now.
Yeah, well, and they got
AI
like
never tires, but water flows.
Yeah, they got like the hydraulic system. They could get like a crazy YI wind up, you know, like they start spinning their arm and they just like
I just realized the most powerful people in the AI uprising are to be power washers.
Oh my god.
They instead of arming us with weapons, they're like, yeah, that could ricochet off. We're gonna give you You ever played Power Wash Simulator? We're gonna load everybody up with those. Go for limbs. Yeah, go for the wire, the connectors.
It's like a laser beam.
This is my lightsaber. It's just spraying water everywhere.
Not the future we thought we'd have, but it is the future we have.
Oh man, I want to see a video game of power washers taking out AI now. That'd be very funny to me.
But here's the question though: do we think we can 1v1 take out a robot? Like the Boston Dynamics.
Well, like you could knock it over, but I don't know if I have the strength to.
In this house, so assuredly.
Yeah,
in
dude,
this
my
house,
luck would be I shoot it, it reflects, bounces off something, and hits me, and I
got shot.
kill myself.
We got shotguns. Them Jones
Yeah.
ain't coming back.
I-
Them Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, I got like a screwdriver in my closet, and like,
He's just gonna.
yeah, I'm gonna be sitting there like pin it.
I have like a
Like,
claw
oh.
hammer somewhere. I
The
I
only
can do
thing
something.
Okay.
What is my
And
only
bonk
weapon
it.
in this room is a fucking broadsword.
Oh
And
yeah, dude. I've
That-
got a fucking
I feel like a broadsword
like-
would be pretty good. I mean, even if it's not sharp
dull as
enough,
fuck, I would just bonk them.
yeah, you just hit him.
Bonk them.
You just
Yeah,
need to
dude.
dent something so
At
that
the
it
very
can't
least, just
move
keep 'em from
properly.
coming at me, just
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the gun will run out of ammo. At that I can at least.
the
Push
best
one or
thing
two.
if we're going into a robot uprising, you know, like Boston Dynamics, they go crazy, they start mass producing, and we're in trouble. I'm saying we go to the history museums. You go for
Okay.
any like flail, mace, you know, any just
Yeah.
blunt melee
Dark
weapon.
Age
That's your
2, baby.
Yeah.
Dark Age 2. Just
we
dropped.
revert back to monkey and we go to town. And
Dude, I'm okay with that, honestly.
Yeah, I feel
Honestly,
Honestly, if that's the
The
pandemic
amount of
that comes
people-
up next, I'm ready.
yeah, dude, for real. The amount of people we lose from like not knowing how to use a flail though would be catastrophic. But you know, the survival of the fittest. At the end of the
Yeah.
day. If you don't know how to use a
we're
flail,
stronger
like,
because
The
of it.
Renaissance nerds are gonna be like, I've been preparing for this my whole life.
dude, yeah, they're like, oh, I've been going to the
It's gonna have a field day.
Chai's gonna come out with like this is a friend of ours, Chai Kenta, in case you don't know. She's gonna come out with just big Ren Fair nerd. And so she'll just have like 4 different flails like in between each finger, just fucking swinging it around.
It's gonna like
She's,
General
like, swings
Grievous
above
style
her,
and just
just,
like has like 4 swinging on her arms.
She just spins it over her head, just flies off.
Helicopters.
Helicopter, helicopter.
Yeah, the Renaissance, they actually figured out flight before we did, and we don't talk about that though.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
On the topic of kind of like AI and how like generic content is being produced, TikTok and TikTok music. Have you guys seen that video on TikTok music? It was like in my recommended for ages. But like in general, the whole premise is TikTok like has lowered the quality of music is the argument. Do you guys really think that's a thing? Do you think music is worse, or is it just more accessible and people don't like it? Because I'm thinking it's the latter. I really feel like TikTok has evolved a lot of music. I mean, there's a lot of trash thrown out there.
Yeah.
It's like
think-
SoundCloud.
It's with
It's
anything.
easier.
Yeah, you flood the market with like a bunch of like new artists. Like obviously there's going to be some that are really good and like they have ideas that haven't been heard and like they'll ascend, but there's still going to be that baseline of just like a lot of people trying new stuff and maybe it doesn't work, maybe it doesn't sound good. Like,
a lot of
there's
throwing
guys
shit
that-
at the wall.
Yeah, there's guys that they do like shitty remixes and stuff, and it's not sung well or anything, but like the beat behind it is fire, and the lyrics
yeah,
are
like,
funny. So like
this man is
I
getting
enjoy
there.
the song. Like
God.
like they got it. They just need a little
Fucking Whopper song
tonality.
is stuck in my head for
Yeah,
forever.
like-
Whopper.
Double
I
whopper,
fucking- I
triple
hate it.
whopper.
I can't get away from it. I will get away from it for like a day, and then there's like one TikTok that scrolls past, and I'm like, "Fuck!" It's in my head again.
And
it's
it
there.
makes me giggle too. It's the same situation as like excuse me, Seabat. Remember?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hudson Hawk,
shit-
baby.
It's such a shit song, but it just sticks with you. It sticks with you forever. And I feel like a lot of TikTok music is in that. It's like all the catchy music is just thrown on TikTok now. And they all start with like a weird premise too. It's always like you ever like do your homework and then your sister walks in your room and then turns off your computer so you can't hear the song you were
Yeah.
listening to anymore. Well, I
Yeah.
did this song to represent my feelings about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It's actually, and sometimes it would just be like you ever like walk in on your stepsis that's like stuck in the dryer and she's like trying to get out, but the metal barrel like clinking against the thing has a sick beat, and so you start recording it, and they'll just be like sitting there like fucking dancing. to it the
Just
entire time.
absolutely going to town.
Yeah, and then just be like custom making a song as like the steps. It's just wild shit like that. TikTok has like almost like no restraints. It seems like because it can like come from anything.
It is definitely evolved content. Like short form content is so incredibly powerful for reaching a large audience. I have
I
like
hate it.
fallen into it.
You hate
I've
short form
fallen into it,
content?
man.
Mhm.
Why do you hate it?
Oh,
So this is just a personal gripe because of like I'm a content creator, and I think
Right.
that short form content just because this is someone who hates it, but I use that shit like nonstop. I use it way too much.
Damn right.
I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, oh, I'm laying down for bed. It's like midnight. I was like, I got work in like 6.5 hours, 7 hours, something like that. But then I scroll TikTok for like 2.5 hours. And I'm like, wow, my sleep schedule.
It's a vortex. Bro. You open that phone, you start death scrolling, you're gone.
It's
3 hours.
I literally downloaded an app to stop me from doing that called Stay Free. Not sponsored. I've had no sponsorship with this thing. Download Stay Free if you have a problem with TikTok. I have it on a 15-minute thing. It'll notify me and pull me out of the app, and it like breaks the spell. And I'm like, oh shit, it's been 15 minutes.
Oh shit, you're right.
2. Like I was like, oh, I'll just watch 1 or 2 TikToks, and I've been here that long. And if I turned it off one day thinking, oh, maybe I have some self-control after using Stay Free. That day, I scrolled for 6 hours. I made a TikTok in the middle of it, in the middle of my scrolling going, hey, I started at 3 a.m. And then I pointed at my screen, it's 5:45. What the fuck happened to my time? And then I stood there till 8.
The thing I hate most about it is just like the amount of like, the way it's ruining attention span, man. Like people, I talk to people nowadays, like the younger people, but even like people my age that grew up with like, you know, TV shows and commercials and all that shit. Like, we didn't have the issue of like, you know, it's like, oh, just spending too much time on your phone or whatever the fuck. So it's like, but we're also having the same issue of like, we're just like, it's so easy to death scroll on this thing, and it's just like I get more bored on longer videos now. Like if I go watch like a 30-minute video and it's like it's not entertaining almost every single beat, I will exit out of the video. I never used to do that. I used to be like, I prefer longer videos because I can put it on and I don't have to worry about finding something else. I'm just like, I'm watching this content and that's how I enjoy it, and I can sit there and just consume it. But it's such a
broad approach to it, because I have the same thing where I have trouble focusing, but rather than skipping the video and like watching one video with intention, I'll pull up 4 videos and I'll watch them all at the same time.
At the same time?
I can keep up. And I'll be in Discord
his eyes
talking to people. The shit is like, when I tell you guys about all the content and stuff that I'm watching, I watched the video about fucking the Coast Guard, why they like go in like a zigzag pattern. It was a very interesting video about like how the Coast Guard saves people and how they very specifically have to do this search and rescue pattern. And how I learned that port and starboard. Hey, if anyone ever wants a useless piece of knowledge, port is starboard. To your left. It's only 4 letters. Ooh. Starboard's the other way.
I berated people in Sea of Thieves with that by yelling in a goblin voice, port, and if people didn't go to the other side, I would call them dumb names. Be like, that's starboard! I said port! And it was good. It was a good 3 hours. I made people learn.
3 hours of berating people for nothing.
It's good.
It's very fun. But like, I'll watch that, and then I have like ASMR or something. I'll have like a Twitch stream, and then I'll have another YouTube video of like gameplay or something innocuous. So I'll have like one high brain, I have noise, I have live content, and then I have low brain. And I'll watch all that.
If we give him too many monitors, he'll just be like surrounded by screens. Yeah. There's all this content on the screen. He's just like downloading it like a robot. You are the robot. That's why you don't want the robot AI like uprising. Is because
it's you.
I've cracked the code.
You're that
You're
the symbol monkey from Toy Story that watches the security cameras. That's you.
Oh, I forgot about this shit.
I made a YouTube short on the fucking. You remember that Mother game I played? The symbol monkey terrifies me. I don't know what it is, but that thing is so.
It's not a toy. Like they market it as a toy. It's not.
That thing is demonic. Whoever decided a symbol crashing monkey that slowly approaches you was a good idea for a toy, is actually a demon trying to give you nightmares.
Well, it's like because they always design it. They're like, oh yeah, you could make like cute little monkey with his symbols, man.
Look at him. He doesn't know how to band. Look at him go.
They give him like bloodshot red eyes, and like Eli's got like a cracked smile. Like this man's like done nothing but drugs his entire life behind like a fucking gas station, like in this little like hometown, because there's nothing else to do. Because I've been there. We've all been there.
Like, it's been a long week, you know.
Yeah, we've been there.
Nothing else to do, so you just start doing heroin. It's just how it goes.
Oh, me and the boys. Chill. Oh, man.
Cracked out of our minds. No, I thought I mass consumed media. Like I meme about it when I'm walking around the house, and I'm sure my roommate Ace hears about it. Because I'll talk to myself. I'll watch like an hour-long YouTube video, watch a 16-minute meme video. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for bed. pull up my phone and start walking to it and be like, look at me. My attention span is shit. Oh, mass consumed media.
It's
Here I
actually
go.
good. If you have the ability to sit there and watch a video with intention, and by the way, I'm saying this because I've been watching a lot of fucking Dr. K to try and deal with my attention span issues. Watch a video with intention. If you can sit there and watch an hour-long video, fully focused on just that video, you're in a better state than 90% of the populace right now. It's ridiculous, or at least the populace with internet access.
Yeah, with access to the internet and
My thing
cell
is,
phones.
but the thing is that like I'm with Piggy here, where it's like, yeah, I can intently watch it, even though it's like worse than it used to be. I still struggle with this like concept of like putting my phone fucking down, because I'll be sitting here like talking to people and playing a game or whatever, and I'll be like, I'm gonna go grab something to eat. I get up, I mute myself on Discord, I'll grab my phone, turn something on as I'm like walking to go to get something to eat. And I'll watch a video while I'm doing that. And I'm like, I couldn't wait 0.2 seconds to just go and do the thing.
There's been a meme.
I started putting it down and walking away because I found that every time I bring my phone with me, whatever thing I would have done that would have taken 5-10 minutes, it takes like 30 or 40. I waste
3
so
times
much
as
more
long.
time because I can't focus fully on the task.
Yeah.
It's a meme right now that's like been going around, and I find it really funny, where people are like, all right, you failed your task. I sentence you to eating without YouTube. And it's like, it's a big thing. It's
that's
I didn't think about it, but I was watching the meme while eating pizza on YouTube. I'm like, what would I do? What would I do? Would I just sit at a table and eat with nothing?
This is like the weird, like the same thing as like when you like accidentally like mourn someone, because you're like thinking about like, you're like, oh dude, I would miss this person if they were gone. You're like, what would I do if they were gone? Like they're my whole life. Like what would I? It's the same thing with YouTube. It's like
you start spiraling. Yeah.
If I'm shitting, what am I supposed to do? If I like even when I'm fucking wiping, I may be like leaning forward, but I'm fucking.
You got the phone on the counter. You like
yeah. I just fucking the entire time my eyes never leave it. Oh my god!
What a silly beat.
Look at that. Not done
this
yet.
This is why I say we as people are diseased.
We're fucked. And when the AI come out and improve that algorithm even more, the people with no self-control and no awareness, even more fucked. The Zoomer generation is going to have a lot of trouble with communication, I think. It's funny, though. There's like a subset of the generation who pushes back like really hard. Like they dislike the technology, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll like play for like an hour," and then they're gone. Like
I respect the fuck out of the people. Like I always felt really like people in school who would do like they would do sports and everything. Like I met a couple of these people in college, and I'm like, what do you do like after school? Like, cause like I go home, I hop on a game, maybe I stream, maybe I watch a video, and like what do you even do with your time? They're like, I go outside, I go and walk, I go talk, I do, and I'm like, it's just bizarre. Like they don't watch any content, they don't consume any media. Like it's crazy.
I read.
People tell me they read. Fuck you guys. You're no better than us. Just it's a different.
It's a different kind of media.
A screen,
see, the difference is the screen is algorithm. The screen is algorithm. You have to go out of your way to read a book.
Parents
so
in the 1800s,
books, you're
but
crazy.
Unless the algorithm hands you a book. In which case, then it's
you're part of the system,
then
baby.
You're part of the system, baby.
Let's go, baby. I see you on Kindle.
They're like, whoa! You've been reading for 7 hours today. You're gonna have to stop. I don't care.
There is some
like there's bloodshot eyes. You're like, have I?
There's an algorithm for everything. I was about to say, when I got addicted to reading, it was webtoons, and they just spam you with like you read one thing, and then at the bottom it's like, hey, look, there's a few similar ones. And because none of the webtoons are ever fucking complete if they're free, I'm like, well, I guess I may as well start another one. And then I'm reading 40 fucking books with no endings.
I've been getting that because my brother asked me about Tabletop Warhammer, and I was like, oh yeah, Tabletop Warhammer is good. And so I was like, what's the one guys that I like a lot? Oh, the Death Corps of Krieg. They're like really cool. Very, if you're looking for a fun Warhammer story, that Legion is dope as fuck. But I went and I watched one video so that I could accurately tell him about it, and now my feed is just that. And I've been on Twitter, on anything I open, it's about Warhammer stuff. I'm getting advertisements for minis, and I'm like, I don't even play tabletop.
This brings me to something I want to ask y'all, because I want to know if it's somehow there's something I'm looking at that's like fucked up. For the people that watch anime, how many hentai ads do you get of just
so many?
A lot. Oh.
Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure, because I'm like, dude, I'm not even watching like that much porn, but for some reason it feels like I've gone like I'm an addict for some reason, because it's like all that I get is like something called like pocket tunes. It's some like weird like hentai, but it's like of the Incredibles, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is this a thing?
You watch anime on like your phone. You get like the Funimation app or whatever, and then you get like the ads for the games where it's like, this is a fun and intriguing game, and it's just ass, titties.
Limited time 5-star Luffy One Piece.
Yeah, it's like,
like all in one banner ad, and you're like, how did you fit that?
You like get yourself a 5-star character, and the 5-star character is just a girl in a bikini with like a pistol, and you're like,
wow,
how is this the top? Your military makes no sense. I don't get this at all.
You must be very powerful. I need to understand how power is done in this realm.
It's just insane. For the longest time, all my ads that I was getting was like it would sometimes be like normal like anime ads like Funimation or whatever, but then it would also be like the 18. It would like, you'd scroll up, it'd be the ad for like a mobile game, be like 18 plus dress up game, strip down this smoking hot demon anime waifu or whatever the fuck, and I'd be like, what the hell is this? Yeah, and then I scroll down Replica AI, and then I scroll further down, erectile dysfunction meds, and I'm like, I don't know how I got here.
I don't get this. My erectile's functioning. I don't get this.
I'm like, how dare you? I just saw that anime demon waifu ad, and I'm already hard.
There is no malfunction in here.
Yeah, it's like I'm perfectly fine.
Mixed messages.
Yeah.
That's it. You sass me one more time, I'm closing the tab. I swear to God, I'll do it.
That's it. I'm opening that.
I can do it. I can do it.
You can't do it. I just can't. The algorithm's got me confused.
You're like sweating.
And then you go to TikTok and you scroll for that anime.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh my God.
I genuinely believe short form content is positive for the creator. For the consumer, it is torture. It's literally algorithm like algorithm cocaine. Like you take it, you're addicted, and you just can't fucking stop, and you don't realize how much you're consuming until it's too late. Like,
yeah, a lot of people
just wasted away.
I know a lot of people worried about like when like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter came out that people would be craving likes and everything like that. But I feel like we've moved past that, where most people who like consume content and don't make it don't give a shit if it has like 16,000 likes, 1 million likes. That means that's the benefit to the creator. Everyone else, like half the people I know, don't like videos that they watch. They don't. It's just, you're just like, oh, good video, and you scroll past it.
Genuinely forget it. I forget it.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's how brain off it is.
I constantly remind myself, I'm like, this is good. I should like this. Yeah, say it. It's why you get the videos where people are like, hey, you should subscribe to the video. Yeah, like as much as people like meme that it's cringe and everything, it genuinely it's because everyone's brain is completely gone when you type in YouTube in your search bar, you pull up TikTok, you don't have a single thought. You're just looking for something to fill the void.
Zero. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I will say, like, as far as like going into like content making us like brain dead, like shells of our former selves. There's a have you ever seen like parody accounts? And I don't mean like Weird Al. Yeah,
like you're talking like Meat Canyon.
Oh, that's a different kind of parody.
We're going. Yeah, it is art to be fair.
It is. Yeah,
like insane.
It's crazy.
Also just really good. But I more mean like, have you ever seen like the Facebook groups that are just like dedicated, or like Facebook, Twitter, like there are sometimes accounts that are just
pictures of very suspicious toilets in unexpected places.
Yeah, shit like that. Or like there was I found a thing the other day, and this is why I'm talking about this. There was a Facebook group that like people were joining, and it was joining in like a massive amount, like at the time. It was getting a lot of attention, where people were just pretending like role playing ants. They just have a picture of like
it's
ants.
so good.
It's so fucking dope.
They post a picture of a watermelon Like
Oh
I found a slice, and everyone replies like lift.
Humans just want to be a hive mind.
We just need someone to give us a command, and we'll do it. It's crazy. The ant one is so funny. Dark Souls toilets is one of my favorites, where they post a toilet in a
with eerie
threatening auras.
hot dogs with threatening auras is a great one too. Yeah.
My favorite one I've always seen is that there's like a picture of a stairwell and it's like pink, like granite almost, and it goes down and it's like pitch black, but there's like some reflective surfaces. And then like where like an art piece would usually be hanging, there's a small like ledge with a toilet sitting on it. Like you have to jump to the toilet to get there, and then you like assert dominance under anyone who would walk underneath. You're just like,
I love these toilets though, because the idea of like, whose house is this? Where you're like,
where is this? What country are you in?
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Legal,
the
right?
bathroom's on the left, up the stairs, down the stairs, up the ladder. It's at the top.
Yeah.
You're like,
You see the forbidden gate, hop through that.
Yeah.
All right, and when you see the plant, make a left, but only slightly. That way, you'll see it straight above you.
Like the architects for the buildings are like, watch this. They're like giggling.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fucking. What if we put a toilet all the way up there? It's like, oh my god.
So
the guy's like, oh my god, genius! Yes, let's fucking do that.
Oh, it's innovative.
You ever go to? This is like the next level of like you go over to someone's house and you don't know how to work their shower.
Yep.
It's like you're like what the fuck? Like why? Like I used to have a thing where it was just like you would just like twist the handle and then you would like you just like you could have like a little button that you'd push in the shower. It came out the shower head or whatever. But it's like there's this one person that I had that you had to like go under the faucet, grab like the middle piece and pull it down, and then it would come out the shower head. I was like, well, how the fuck was I ever supposed to figure that? I had to finger the fucking faucet to like get it to work. Like,
yeah, I had that.
Having a fully repaired faucet. That's just them missing a piece at the
they just got their toilet they got to get that shit fixed. I had it when I moved here because instead of our shower, like a normal shower where like you would like maybe you like twist a thing up or you adjust the temperature, you have to like you go in and you like you're shifting gears, right? You crank it back and then you get like put it into gear. It's fucking wild. Yeah, you're oh shit, going into third gear. All right, a hot shower. We're good to go. It's fucking crazy. Too hot. Oh shit. Crank it back. It's wild. It was very jarring the first time I went to shower because I was sitting there just butt ass naked for like 5 minutes trying to figure out how to turn the shower on. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like,
I'm glad I don't have this problem. My like ADHD anxiety brain analyzes every aspect. I'm like, all right, this shower has one thing. It has no thing on top of the faucet. Okay, it's a turn and pull. Nope, just a turn. Epic. Nope. Yeah. Then work on the pull. Push.
You go over to your friend's house. You're contemplating. You're like, okay, if I had to stay up, I know how to start your shower.
Legitimately, when I take a shit in your house, I'm fucking eyeing your bathroom.
Writing notes down.
Bathtub, I'm like, all right, I know how to get in.
Chunk shower. Okay, so he does this. He has the bipedal standing 3000 whatever.
He has a gas and a brake. Weird, but okay. I guess I can work with that.
It's got like a car seat in it. Like it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on in there, but
I don't know what he's doing in there.
You guys remember my old house with the fucking little archway door or whatever?
Yeah, you talked about it.
Yeah. Our shower was just a exposed rusted pipe. It was that poorly maintained by the landlord. So when I would turn it on, it would just spray water straight to the other wall, just
like one of those disinfectant showers. You just like stand.
Dude, he's like, but this way for the perfect bidet, and he just like.
Oh man, I've been waiting all day for this one.
Always shower, but that was the bathtub. So when you would turn it on, it would just boom straight across. Yeah. And whenever you were trying to turn on the shower, I normally would like try and wait for the water to heat up. Yeah, if you did that, you made a fucking mess. The entire bathroom was flooded.
It was
awful.
If it just shot straight across, how did you like get your like legs and like head?
No, you just turned on the shower. So luckily, the shower bit was one of those where you pulled.
Okay.
So it was just a long ass faucet of pure,
Mm.
unadulterated power wash rage into the wall, and then you would turn on the shower and it's chilling.
Okay, I thought the shower. I thought the shower was shooting across, and you like to get your legs. You were like sitting there. You're like stretching your legs up and everything. You're like stretching your head down into it.
Dude, I'm just imagining fucking like.
I always imagine slipping and getting stabbed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, wait, getting stabbed?
Huh?
It was a rusted triangle. Like this shape.
You get tetanus from that bad boy.
That makes sense. I assumed you were gonna fall over. Someone's gonna throw the curtain back and stab you.
You failed the shower test, and they shank you in your own tub.
They're like, we've been waiting for this. We caught you lacking this one time. Dude, I've had people who had that. Like, I think I've seen a meme that is probably one of my favorites, where it's like the person does like this thing. They like twist the knob, like pull out a thing, and the shower head's supposed to run. And then you just see the thing go, and the entire faucet head just shoots off. That cracks me up every time. It makes such the funniest sound. It's like it's like a whatever like basic sound effect you would get off the line.
When it first broke, that's what happened. It flew onto the wall. It scared the shit out of me, but it was so fucking funny. Oh my god! I love that. That's a more universal experience.
Yeah,
it's better.
Sure.
Yeah, it's happened to me. It's hilarious. It's so good.
I still think my favorite interaction that I've ever had in like a shower, where I was like, I walked into one of my friend's parents' bathrooms, and his like parents were very like well off, and like completely. He lived in like basically a completely different life than I had ever like led, and so I was like, I went to his parents' bathroom, and they had like the big open like square shower with like granite like seats and stuff like aligning the walls, and they had like like 8 different like on the walls. There's like 8 different like sections. It looked like
gets you from every angle.
Yeah. I was about to fucking fly a plane. That's how complicated this thing looked. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, and I want to use your shower. And for the longest time, he's like, no. He's like, you're not using my parents' shower. That's weird. They were gone one weekend, and I was drunk as fuck. And so I was like, I'm using your goddamn parents' shower. I'm using your parents' shower. And so I like went in there. I'm just like twisted all the knobs, and it's so funny because I was like, "Oh, okay, this is probably for this." I like turn it, and like one on the left just like sprays me in the side of the ear, and I'm just like so confused. I'm like, I don't know where goes to where anymore. Like nothing's lined up. Like
it's a fucking slapstick fucking showers.
This is just like bopping. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm just like pressing things in.
Cranking it to get everything to go.
Yeah, and you just look over to the right. There's just like one of those old like wheels for like pipes that like opens everything. You just like rust.
By the time you get it working, you got like a leg up on this one. You're pushing this button. It's good. This is a good shower. I like this. Yeah,
bro. But like when you got it all working, I'll be honest, you didn't even have to move. You could just stand there, and every part of your body's like clean. It's just everything's getting sprayed down. I felt like a science experiment, honestly. It felt like a little weird.
It felt quarantined.
Walk through it for the full cleaning, just
decontamination.
Because that was the same shower that at one point, whenever I had my first like drinking bit with him, and I got drunk, like incredibly drunk to the point where I blacked out. And because we've been drinking, we did like a drinking game for like it was either Vacation or We're the Millers, where like every time they curse, we'll take a drink. But I never drank before, so like I didn't know that you're supposed to like sip. So I was just going. And like gulping
down
like vodka with stuff
too. You're supposed to sip.
Yeah, you're supposed to sip for like a lot of stuff.
I'm an
like
alcoholic,
that.
bro.
Yeah, I do. I the same way. That's why I like passed the fuck out. And he like I like vomited everywhere. And he's a bro. He like helped clean me up and everything, and like got me a shower.
Homie, yeah.
But then I threw up in that shower while he was cleaning up other stuff, and so he had to move me to this parents' shower. And then I was like, he just threw me in the middle of the floor. I'm just like laying there on the granite slab. Just flat on my stomach, and he just like poured some soap on me and just left. And so like at a certain point, he's just like cleaning and stuff. This is the way he tells it because I didn't remember any of this shit. And he's just like cleaning out the bathroom or whatever, and he turns around and like way down the hall, he's on like the nice floor. I might just bare naked ass. It's just like worming and sliding across like the floor, just leaving like a slip trail from the soap and water and stuff, just like behind me. It was probably the most disgusting thing, because I'm just sliming my way towards him.
I want to use your parents' shower.
I was already in his parents' shower, dude, and so there was no point for me to go anywhere. I was just like, I was on a journey. I don't know where I was going. I had no destination in mind. I was just going.
I just started
I need
moving.
to move right now. I'm real fucked up. If I don't start moving, I'm dead.
Yeah, dude, for real. I woke up the next morning. He's like, you're fucking lucky. That was so funny. Otherwise, I would have been so pissed at you. And I was like, let's fucking go, baby.
God bless.
It was good times though.
Would have been a sight to
how
behold.
ADHD and terrible everyone's attention spans got. We got to there from Twitter gimmick account.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Look at that.
I expected that to be a bigger topic, and then we just kind of moved on immediately, talking about showers and shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
Yeah.
Fun.
No, you spitting.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, another thing I have on my topic list. The going around the whole like everyone's so caught up in the thing and the ADHD, anxiety, TikToks. If you're ever on TikTok, you're gonna see them because if you're on there long enough, it goes into your algorithm because they're like, oh, this guy likes scrolling a lot. Everyone's gonna relate. There's like a culture of less sleep being cool and like. At least I used to be. I don't know if you remember back in the day on like Facebook and stuff, but you remember like being like vamping, being a vamp. You would stay up till like midnight or whatever, and you would just talk with all the late night people, all the late night hoes and shit. You would hang out with all those people.
I never talked to no late night hoes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Most of sure, it was a different era. Like everyone, I feel like everyone thought it was cool to be the guy who didn't sleep and was always tired, and it was like, haha, look at that. Oh yeah. I got 5 hours of sleep last night. It's like, well, I got 3
It's always a
hours of
competition, right?
Yeah, and it's a competition to go down. But I feel like we're in a nice spot now where it's starting to go the other way, where it's like, oh, I got 8 hours of sleep. And they're like, damn, nice, man. You got lucky. And I feel like as we get a new vice, the new vice being attention span, sleep is kind of coming back in a weird way. Like people are starting to care a little more about their other health aspects. Mm-hmm. And I was just wondering if you guys like thought it was a kind of the same thing, or as you, I guess only I experienced the vamping thing. I might be old.
I didn't stay. Well, here's the thing: is I didn't have like really like any online consoles or anything, or like any way to connect with people online when I was younger. For the most part, other than like Facebook Messenger. But even then, it's like, who am I going to talk to? I could talk to like Glinda from like my parents like
from like Bible study.
Yeah, I could do that, I guess. I hit up some sweet honeys from church. You believe me, you me, all right?
Yeah, give me some Christian hoes.
That's right, baby. But
me and Dolores, we like this.
you already know, baby girl.
You already know what it is.
But it's just like I didn't ever like have the means to like stay up and talk to anyone. So it's like I knew those people that would be like, yeah, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. People like, oh man, I didn't sleep all last night. I was like up all night playing Halo or like talking to people or like playing Call of Duty with the boys. And I'm like, I can't do these things. I could stay up by myself playing Phoenix Wright on my DS, I guess. That's pretty busting. But it's like if I told people that, they'd be like, what the fuck is Phoenix Wright? And then I get bullied. So it's like I didn't do it.
Then I get bullied.
Yeah, I had it a little.
It's weird.
I had it a little bit when I started working, where like I'd come and be like, "Yeah, man, I got to work a 9-hour shift, and I'm on 2 hours of sleep. Let's go." And they'd be like, "Bro, 2 hours? Catch me on that hour and a half, gang." I'm like,
"Yeah,
it's like, bro,
it's like this is. It's like, man, we are not in a good way. Like this is not good. Yeah. Like now, I flex on people who's like. Yeah, you know, I got like 14 hours on Saturday.
Same. I got the opposite. I oversleep, but I'm like, I don't know.
It's like, I wish I had that. Like, this is the thing is that like a lot of times it's like mine is never like from a place of like, yeah, what's up? I got less sleep than you. Mine's always like, fuck you. I wish I had more sleep. I'm tired of being tired. This is exhausting, and I don't know why people enjoy it. I'll be sitting at work, and I'll literally be like holding like a knife in my hand, and I'll just be like. Oh, like I'm about to like face plant onto the knife because I'm a fucking shit.
There was like a switch that happened like when I turned like 18, 19. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta be up to like do stuff at all the times. And then I turned 20 and I was like, Man, I'm tired of being tired all the
You
time.
going to bed,
Like,
bro.
yeah, like
you wake up, you're like, man, I ain't going out right now.
yeah, it's like I wake up, I wake up, I'm like, man, I could go to work on 3 hours of sleep, or I could just go to sleep. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
I'm just tired as fuck.
That's why I used to like think about like calling in, but I never would. Now if I have nights like that, I'm like, I'm calling in. I'm not going to work like with zero sleep. Because there was nights where, especially when I first started Twitch streaming, where I would be hanging out with like Baldy and like Aravan or like Devi or whatever, and I would literally just be up like chatting until I went to work in the morning.
I remember
And I was
those
just-
nights.
I was just- yeah,
I
and
remember
I
the
was-
Sarah.
yeah, and I was just like, all right, time to go to work, and I would go to work because it's also like COVID times, I guess, was the thing as well, right? So like everyone was home. I was one of the few people that had to go in every single day, no matter what, because I was deemed, I guess like whatever
Necessary.
Expendable.
necessary. Yeah, that yeah. See, catch me in the next Expendable movie, baby.
Yeah. Ooh.
But
But,
yeah, I don't know.
I do remember like a lot of streamers popped up because of COVID. Like a lot of my friendships started because COVID happened. So everyone got like that $1,000 stipend. They were like, "Oh, I can rock out for like a month or two." And they were like, "Well, what do I do with all this free time? I can't go out and buy food. I can't get new shit." So people would either buy computers or already had computers, and they just started streaming. I'd say like 70% of my friends had gotten into Twitch, and I'm one of the few who like stuck it out.
It's crazy how many people started and then stopped, which is
Yeah,
it's
dude.
totally viable. You try it out and you're like, it's not for me.
Not for me.
I don't like it. It's like that's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Then
cool.
some people are like, "Oh, it is for me," and
Yeah.
then they just never stream again.
That could be
Hello?
that could be anybody. I'm just saying right now. That could be.
Who could do that?
who you talking to? I've streamed
Huh?
twice in the last 2 months.
Yeah, dude, my last stream was 10 days ago, bro. That's pretty
You're on
good.
that
That's pretty
grind.
good.
That's
I'm on that
pretty good.
grind. Yes, sir.
I'm saying
Bro,
a Sigma
it's-
grind.
Yeah, I think it's very weird to me, like how this is why I always like kind of recommend that people do streaming, but I always do it with the stipulation of like, yeah, you should, and people are like, oh, I want to try streaming. You know, should I do it or anything? I'm like, yeah, go for it. I met a lot of awesome people that I like love and like adore and like are really close friends and stuff. And I'm moving to a state with people that I met online. And so it's like the whole thing was like, I was like, you should absolutely do it. But it's like it's not for everyone, and I think you should understand that. There's a lot of people that like couldn't handle the mental stress of it.
It's
Or, like,
horrendous
just-
for your mental health.
It's awful for your
Terrible.
mental health.
You
The amount
have
of
to learn
times-
how to take steps to take care of yourself before you get
Yeah.
hyper into it.
For sure. And that's the thing that like kind of caught up to me is I didn't do that. And I was like hyper fixated. Like I remember there's a time whenever me and Nate and Piggy were talking about stuff, and he was like, yeah, Chunk's like always in people's streams and like always doing stuff. And I'm like, I just because I'd constantly be like talking to people, like chatting, and then they'd be like, hey, you should come join us for games. I'm like, deal. I'm like down to do that. And I would just hop in. And I just never did anything for myself or like rested in any way. So I just burned the fuck out after like a year and a half. It
I was that
insane.
way too. When I started streaming, I was on that grind. I was streaming 4 times a week, and then
Yeah.
like when I wasn't streaming or like I had an hour to kill, I was in like 3 streams talking all the time. It's really fun and it's great and like you enjoy that time, but you'll reach a point where you burn out and you just die for like a month and you just
I came in
don't
luckily.
exist.
I hated Twitch. I despise streaming as a
Really?
platform. I came to Twitch. I mentioned this a couple times. The reason I came to Twitch was because of my friend Aravan started
Yeah.
streaming, and I gave advice to Deontay with him on YouTube when he was starting out, and I helped him grow a bit early on. And Aravan, I wanted to give him the same kind of experience because he was like, well, I know a lot about Twitch and Twitch culture, but I don't know how to grow. And I was like, algorithms, baby, that's my speciality. So I sat there and I started streaming so I could begin to understand from a very tiny perspective how Twitch worked. And then I like watched all the macro level. Basically, I treated Twitch like the world's largest spreadsheet, where I was just looking at all the data and I was like, how does Twitch work? And then like when Aravan quit, I didn't give a fuck anymore. I stopped streaming, I think a month and a half, and then I came back to it and I was like, sometimes it's just fun to talk with people while I play games.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's cool. So that's what I started using it for. I sometimes use it for a little light YouTube content. And for the most part, I'm there to chill.
They're to talk
and
to
I think a
people.
lot of
It's
people need that attitude.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I when I go live, I don't go live because I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna have like
You can't make that
400
much
people.
money early on.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna make fat racks off this. It's like I'm there so that like I can have all the homies show up and they can talk about what happened today. They can share like shitty memes. They can troll me like while it's going on. They
Yeah.
call me
And you
bad
meet a
while I'm.
lot of like-minded people too.
It's great.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just I've started raiding people randomly again since a lot of my old friends don't stream anymore, so I don't have as many raid targets. So I was like, fuck it, whatever game I'm playing, I'll find one of the smaller streamers who has a face cam and talks, and in the fucking first 4 seconds while I'm in the stream, I'll go and raid them.
It's
And
about
I've
title
met
for me.
a couple interesting people. Title is also a big
If they have an
part. That-
interesting title, I'm in. I'll rate.
one of my favorite titles was just all the way across for all
Yeah.
160 characters, just magnificent. My
I like
biggest
to go
raid
to
was
classic.
like being title.
Oh my god. I remember the classic era where I think it was like 2 months where I just like put pee pee poo poo as my title, like just on repeat. And sometimes I would be willing to class it up a bit and be part 2 or part 3
Part 3.
or part 4. And it's just like it just never stopped. And then after a while I was like,
Remastered.
I should try to like put some thought in the title because titles do like work. But I feel I'm weird because I'm like one of those people that I'm like, clickbaiting works. But I feel bad for clickbaiting because clickbaiting is like it's like cringe, like kind of weird.
Yeah, you have like all
it's like-
caps in your title, like
Oh.
first ever win in League of
video.
Legends. It's like,
Oh shame! One of my
Oh,
most
my-
popular videos on my YouTube Shorts channel, I started like a month ago, is like, I get a cat girl? Question mark. Cat girl, all caps. Most popular video for ages.
Yeah.
And it was
No.
just like, feed to the degenerates. Give them what they want. People are only gonna click the thing because of the title and the thumbnail. And I'm too lazy to go out there making a fucking graphics art masterpiece every time. So you're getting whatever thumbnail shows up and you're getting my clickbait title. And either you like it or you don't. Most people
Yep.
like it. It
Yep.
is what it is.
yeah, it's just how it would be, you know?
Feel that. That's like I don't know. Twitch is like especially over the past few years because we got into it. I think we all got into it around the same time, right? Like
2020.
pretty yeah. Like
Like
I think I
October.
was technically in 2019 because I started in like November.
I technically
2019?
streamed in like 2017. I streamed for like
Well, yeah,
3
I mean, I
weeks.
streamed
and
in
it
like
was pretty good.
2018 like 3 times. I streamed like 3
Yeah.
times like on my own, but it's like
I streamed
right
Heroes
after
of the
started
Storm on Fridays for a month.
streaming. Ooh, I streaming the heights, goddamn.
Yeah,
Ooh, I haven't seen HOTS in a hot minute.
yeah,
Because
for a
it's
good
dead.
reason. That game is
Yeah.
dead.
But,
The meta hasn't changed in
it's just
2
like-
years.
It's so weird looking at the thing because it's like we had all these streamers that had all this time because of COVID and like staying home. And like there was a big influx of like streamers and like people wanting to create content because they couldn't do anything else and they needed to find a hobby. So a lot of people went to streaming. And now that we like have gotten to this point where it's like everything's mostly like back to normal for like almost completely. And so it's like we have like the fall off of like all these people that I used to know that I haven't seen go live in like however long. And
A lot
now
of
I'm
fallout.
just
And a lot
Yeah.
of people that you thought you were really good friends with just never
Yeah.
contact you again. They
Yeah.
just AWOL. It's crazy.
It's
like
huge.
a lot of people just like clout friends essentially, where either they get really big and never speak to you again, or they go offline and never speak to you again. And then there's the like weird era of like one of my favorite people to refer to is Stubbsington. He got like pretty big, went ham on streaming, then he just quit because he got
just
sick
Yeah.
of it.
You just didn't
And I
like
still
doing it.
hang out with that man so often.
Yeah, we
love
watched
Stubbs.
all the Lord of the Rings movie together, and that was awesome. That was
Yeah,
that was
he
goated.
still likes hanging out, and it's like a lot of people still have the time to hang out and stuff. They
There's-
only became friends with you because they shared the common interest of Twitch, and then that was it. And
Yeah.
it makes me so uncomfortable with meeting new people now because I'm like, hey, I don't mind like being friends and stuff, but like I don't want you to act like a friend and then bounce. And
Mm.
now it's like it made me not want to raid new people like really often now.
Yeah, it always felt weird starting out streaming and then rating people, and it's like, am I rating for clout?
Yeah,
Yes
dude, right?
or no?
You do that,
Really?
like argument in your head constantly where you're like, am I a whore? Am I like
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to like you know
Am I-
Never
people's
once.
things? Am I gold digging?
I'm
like,
a
kinda,
whore,
like,
baby.
piece of shit?
Get a stick, baby.
Just light up that marble red, baby.
I
Let's
don't
fucking
give
go.
a fuck
Yeah.
about that part. I don't care how
See-
big or small you are. If I thought you were interesting, you get into raid.
Yeah, I rated people
agree.
that I
That's
liked.
That's how I thought, but like I always worried that people thought differently, right? Where they were like, because I mean, some people do, and there's just always gonna be like toxic mindsets in like any community at any point. But especially being on Twitch, because everyone who on Twitch has Twitter 90% of the time, and Twitter is the cesspool of humanity.
I have it marked as hell inside of my fucking bookmark. You go in there to have a bad time. You don't go on Twitter to be happy.
Because it's like I used to use it to like keep up with friends. So people were like, "Oh, I'm doing like a charity thing," or like I'm doing this thing. Like they're playing like big stream events. I was like, "Oh, this is cool to keep up with people." But then it's just like all these like shit takes. Just about like people being like, "Oh, you have to do streaming this way, or you can only if you raid someone with like less than 10 viewers, you're looking for something. You're trying to get a piece of what I got." And I'm like, "What the fuck is all this? Like, just stream. It doesn't matter. Just create content. Don't overthink it."
Yeah, just do what you like. If you like doing it, then continue doing it, you know?
Yeah.
I use Twitter for shit postings, and I post it to show people that I'm a gamer. I post like me 100%ing Skyrim, me finishing the Hollow Knight achievement. It's like, I game, and you need to know about it.
Yeah,
bro. Twitter.
I love picking things. I see you
shit
comment on a random thing, and then like I'm just like, oh, it's him just memeing with like.
I'll just meme with someone and just be like, yeah, if they get it, it's funny. If they don't, whatever.
That's fun.
Let's see. My recent tweets. I wasn't fucking crazy. MMR was worse. Me talking about Overwatch. A response to, I swear to God, I'm about to start spending the second half of this life as a femboy from Erevan. Me going, we got him.
Yeah, I remember that. Well,
using the gaming headset instead of mics for this dev stream is questionable though. Sheesh, Aaron is peaking. Oh, me talking about the Overwatch dev stream. Like, I'll make a take on whatever is popular in the moment in my head that I enjoy. If I'm watching the dev stream on Overwatch, my Twitter is just a stream of consciousness on that thing, and I don't give a fuck. I get no likes, no retweets. I just get views on that shit. That shit's a journal as far as I'm concerned. If you wanted to see what I thought, cool, it's there. If you didn't want to see what I thought, cool, it's there anyway. Fuck you.
It makes it really easy to gauge. Like, I like it generally. It's like, it's why I enjoy like hanging out like you, Erevan, John, Fire God. Because you guys are very, very direct with what you are thinking about at the moment in time, and it's like, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about like, oh, are they thinking about this? Or they were. It's like, no, what they're talking about is what they're actively. That's what they're thinking about too.
That's on my head, bro. That's it.
It's just what's going on. It's what the noodle in there. Yeah. No rinky,
I got
no
too much
thinking.
content to watch to be overthinking everything.
I got a void to fill up here. I can't afford to fill it with thoughts. Ideas?
You think
no,
that's stupid. Why would anyone do that?
God.
What the fuck? Bro, I just looked at mine. I just realized, like, I mean, I kind of knew it was that way, but like my timeline is just me retweeting stuff and like being like simping for people and like supporting people.
Yeah, that's what mine
is.
Is.
Insane. That then randomly, there's just like shit like this. It's called Sig Newtons. And it's just like Fig Newtons just rolled up as a cigarette. I'm just like, that makes sense.
That's what we need. We need some shit posts.
This is like so like it's so back and forth of like just like randomly like supporting people or like retweeting things that I just think is like cursed and funny. That is like it's just like a personal page. I don't use my like Twitter page as like that should be. Most people are like, you gotta worry about branding, you gotta worry about this and that, and I'm like, I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want. Like
I'm just chilling.
You know what I'm doing? I'm treating Twitter like I did Facebook. I'm doing the same shit. Where I'm like, I'm just gonna post stream of consciousness. I don't give a fuck.
Bro, I used to do that, but that's because Facebook asked. Facebook would be like, "What's on your mind today?"
What's on your mind? You'd be like, well, actually, I had a bagel and the bagel wasn't that good. And I could have had cream cheese, but I didn't. I went for the strawberry instead of the blueberry, and it kind of set my day off.
I expected the blueberry and cream cheese, but there was like a little bit of gravy in there.
And then I looked and I saw that like the cream cheese and the gravy had mixed, and it was kind of no one had cleaned that up.
It wasn't cream cheese; it was mashed potatoes.
And like mashed potatoes and biscuits and. The biscuit and was the bagel.
There's a creature under my bed. It's like,
she's going, oh, I love you so much, sweetie.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so crazy. Smile.
Silly heart.
I went to the next level on Facebook though. I wouldn't just like do stream of conscious. I would do like you are my thoughts, like the audience reading it, because it would be like, what's on your mind? And I would be like, I am thinking about like I would talk in like the third person. I would be like, I would just say my name and then just like insert thought here. I would talk as if I am
Interesting.
having the thought in a different
like someone gets an
perspective.
update log right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
that's very like that's reminiscent of kind of the blog era
Yeah.
of the internet, where people would just kind of make personal blogs where
I
they
like
would
blogs though.
like
It's
I used to miss blogs. Like
Yeah.
I remember using Blogger for a little bit for a dream journal. Like I used to write out my dreams and stuff, and honestly, it's a really good way to write and spend your time. Also, I wanted to read this meme that I found on Twitter as I scrolled my thing. Whenever I play Dark Souls 3, I never ember before a boss. I treat embering like it's my second phase, and I'm the boss fight. So when I'm half out of Estus, I'll go ember mode and play more aggressive. It's especially cool when you're against the Lord of Sinner and they ember at the same time as you. I'll even mutter things to myself like, impressive, but can you face this ash alighteth? Or, enough playing, let's finish this.
The mentality of gaming though is so fucking good. I had that when I was going through Skyrim. Just like I'd be going up against like a basic ass
Immerse
bandit
yourself,
camp,
dude.
and I'm like, yeah, I am the level 50 boss that these guys are just like walking into. Like they don't stand
Bro,
a chance. It's not even
I was
close.
a ninja in Skyrim. I was like, these fools, they think I can't take them all out? They don't even know what hit them.
You buffoons, you don't know that I have 27 healing potions on me. Oh, you can't phase me.
Dragon comes down. You fool. Dragon rend.
Suck
down.
my dick.
Bro, I just was going through my thing, and all I see like a couple of us like talking about like deep thoughts and stuff, and then I see one that's just no more beans while drinking. And that speaks for itself. I really don't have to go into detail other than the fact that I ordered a shit. Okay, first of all, actually, I do need to go into this a little bit because it's a little cursed. I ordered Popeyes like to eat while we were drinking and stuff. And I ordered like a thing of chicken and like a side of mashed potatoes and a side of like beans and rice. But instead of mashed potatoes, they gave me 6 things of beans and rice. And I ate all of them because it was like I didn't know what else was there in front of me. I had the option.
I'm upset, but there's so much
Some of it
beans
away
and so
for
much
later.
rice.
Beans, man. And so I just ate it. But I was drinking so much that night with like Dizzy and another friend of ours, and it's just like it was insane. And like because I woke up the next morning and I apparently I vanished. Like we were talking on Discord, like playing games. I just disappeared. And like no one knew where I went, and then I just apparently just went to bed because I just decided I'm done.
You're blacked out in the tub, covered in rice
like,
and beans.
Dude, yeah, but it's like I woke up in like a war zone where there was just like I vomited like everywhere, and that's why I said no more beans because it was disgusting. It was like filthy. I had to like clean my sheets. I had to clean my mattress. I had to clean my floor. I had to clean the stairwell. I don't know what happened on my stairwell, but like apparently there's like
I
I'm
drink
just
a
leaving
lot,
trails everywhere.
but I don't think I vomit nearly as much as you do. I feel like almost all of your drinking stories end with vomit and you in a bad position.
That's the thing is I only have 3 times that I've ever like thrown up from like drinking.
And they're all
they're
really
just
bad. It's not like
that's the thing is they're always really bad because I
when you
think it's
go,
that, like,
you go
usually
hard.
whenever-
Yeah.
I usually just underestimate certain things. So like the first time was I had never drank before, so I didn't know my tolerance. And so obviously I like blacked out and stuff. But then like recently was because I drink wine now and I hadn't drank wine before. And so
I'm
it's
a
like,
wine guy.
I don't know how wine hits me. I always think it's like not that bad because that percent alcohol is like less. And so I'm like, oh, I can drink a lot of it and it won't be like that bad and I can get like tipsy and it'll be fine. But I'll try to drink like 2 bottles of wine and then also like 15 shots. And then I'm just like, normally, honestly, the 15 shots normally would get me fucked up, but I wouldn't throw up. But I think it's just a sheer amount, of beans.
It's just a sheer
also of wine.
My stomach is just wine and
sleep
beans.
on that. That's a lot of fucking shots.
I drank like a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, and I like, didn't realize it because it's like, do you ever do the thing where I don't know how y'all are, but like I'm not someone who eats a lot normally, but I drink a shit ton. And so it's like that's why I can't have like sodas in my house most of the time because if I do, I'll just
I won't want to eat because I'll drink soda. I'm like, well, this empty calorie made me feel full, so I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm the opposite. I don't drink a lot, but I eat a lot.
Really?
I like food.
Really? I like food too.
I like
but,
food. But food expensive and doesn't last
True.
very long.
True. Food never lasts.
Who never lasts in my hands?
Open a bag
like
of chips.
monster.
Well, that chips better be finished by the time I'm done. I'm just
You know what I'm
putting it
saying?
out there, just speaking.
Bro. Oh my god. Oh, one of the things that Sketchy actually wanted us to talk about, because I think it'd be funny. I know that Ian has for sure seen it. Have you seen the Nanoland shit,
No.
Baldy?
Oh, the fucking like weird ass
The puppet show.
like puppet show.
Yeah.
My homie. Oh, this is gonna bring me back to college. My homie Kyle. He used to be a big member of Collab. He doesn't interact with us much anymore. I like converted him to atheism, and he went off the deep end. I didn't mean to.
He went up and he challenged God and won.
He's in the war right now. Like, they're still fighting. If you see thunder in the skies and you see a silhouette of a man, that's Kyle. That's Kyle. Don't fuck with Kyle.
Goes ham, bro. Don't fuck with Kyle. Yeah, so Kyle, he would always go, "That's a peepo, and that's a shoosh." And I was like, "What are you fucking saying out of your stupid mouth, you absolute psychopath?" And then he shows me it, and I go, "Wait, why are you? This is a nightmare. What do you like about this?"
Yeah, it is, genuinely.
It's
terrifying.
But it explains so much. Like, watching it, because I watched it with Sketchy, the friend that wanted us to talk about this, and she's normally very chaotic and kind of like bounces around topics.
Like gremlin mode.
Yeah, full gremlin mode. And I was like, this show is just like keywords and weird faces. This makes a lot of sense, actually.
Genuinely.
It's like Fred, but in like a really creepy cartoon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that I awakened an ancient evil in your brain.
I ancient evil because I had like a sister that was like super into it at the time that would like
hated my
like do that shit. Oh,
I wasn't.
I watched
Fred, Annoying Orange, like all that shit was just like.
I didn't like Annoying Orange at all.
Annoying Orange had Tobuscus in it though, so I was there for it.
Because of John Cena.
You're a Tobuscus guy, huh? All right,
I think he was a good part of the internet. You know?
I think he
darkness and redness and white, or whatever it was.
Yeah, yes and no, because I liked a lot of the literal trailer stuff, like the Assassin's Creed literal trailers that he did.
Yeah,
that was very funny. I goddamn hated the fucking Nugget Biscuit song, or what, like some of those songs. I wanted to fucking just like slam my head into the table on repeat because I had a friend that would just.
That shit.
I love that. I eat that shit up.
Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni, chilling with my homie.
It's a good
same era.
He started that shit. Like he was like one of the pioneers of it. And so it's like
he was the pioneers of random equals funny.
Yeah,
and it's like it kind of works. I mean, look at like I Show Speed. It goes crazy sometimes, like just being loud and random.
Funny, but like
to a point.
I don't know. I think there's a way to do it.
There's something there's like a weird thing in our brains. Like if I see, have you guys seen the fucking Clancy auto parts commercials on TikTok where it's just a cat spinning above the autos?
Yeah,
that shit's hilarious to me. It has no meaning. It has no meaning, and that's the thing. It's just so far deprived, and it's ridiculous. I think it's just because things are so ridiculous, people like gravitate.
It's like shock humor, you know, where you're just not expecting it.
Yeah, I guess it is like the other end of shock humor, right? Where it's like it's still unexpected, but it's not like edgy unexpected. It's just like this is like doesn't seem like how a human would think. I think is the thing. So you like don't understand it, but you're like just like okay. I actually have
your brain's neutral responses. That's silly.
Bro, this leads me into a weird and I don't want to talk about it too long because it's kind of cringe and over talked about. But like, there was a tweet recently that was showed Andrew Tate having the most insane take of I've ever seen from anyone ever about anything, and it was like him basically. He was like, you know, I posted on Twitter the other day asking a question: would you rather fuck a woman who is a 1 or a man who is an absolute 10?
It's gonna be the man for me.
And then everyone was like woman by default. He's like He's like, and he just goes on this like rant and talk about how that's gay, like their thought process is like
the
gay.
fact that you won't fuck that man. I'm just. What if he's really wanting it? I'm just saying. You're just denying him of pleasure at this point.
Bro,
yeah.
I love Andrew Tate because he is an absolute,
because he's
not
just
legitimately. I think he's just.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you mean.
Off the edge.
He's just so disconnected from reality.
Content, bro.
Yeah,
like that man is thrown off.
I agree, and to me, it's like it's just he's a meme, and like there's nothing there's in my brain. There's no way that anyone can take what he says and think
believe
that
it.
logically it should be
like
believed.
the people who do take it in.
Yeah,
like when they internalize and they're
people
like, no,
preach.
Andrew was spitting.
That 10, he ain't worth your time anyways.
Yeah, and so he goes on and he's like,
we should all fuck dudes. Yeah, that's a good.
That's what he says. That's basically what he says. He goes, you're more gay for wanting to fuck the one. He's like, because basically think of it this way. He's like, the 10 is like Megan Fox, but with a dick, and the 1 is Hulk Hogan, but with a pussy. He's like, would you rather fuck Hulk Hogan or would you rather fuck Megan Fox?
Listen, you don't fuck Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan fucks you. That's how this works. Tell you something, brother. They don't call him the cream of the crop that rises to the top for nothing.
Very homosexual, very quick.
Hey, my first time on a mustache ride, you know what I'm saying? All right, like, let's fucking go.
Wow.
But, dude, it was just like, it was like such an insane take because he was like weirdly being like pro-trans with the most like transphobic statements you could possibly make in like a statement.
You just reminded me about the quartering situation too with that.
The quartering?
Do you know who the quartering is?
No, I don't think so.
I used to be very hyper into the political stuff, as you could tell by a lot of my very hot takes. The quartering was a very hyper right creator, as opposed to like Chris Reagan, who's like centrist, and like Leia Green or whatever on the left. Like there's like the extremes. But the quartering recently said like, yeah, all of those right-wing people that you love and idolize, they love tranny dick and are gay behind the doors. Like they're all closeted. And then he said, like I love trans people or something, which was like an insane take from someone that far, like alt-right, super right. People looked at him like a neo-Nazi, even though I always thought he was kind of centrist. People looked at him like he was super alt-right, and he was just like, yeah, I love trans people. That meme I sent inside of the chat is actually one of the responses from the trans woman in the take. Heartbreaking, the worst person you know, just makes a great point.
Oh my god.
And apparently he's leaving the complete right sphere to move kind of more towards the left because he feels as though the right is no longer as right as it once was, and he feels like it's going too far, which I thought was like, damn, that's crazy, because I was on the opposite end. I was like the left, and
you
I was
can
like,
do that.
Yeah, I was like, you can just pack up your bags and be like, I'm over here now, guys. So just
actually,
brother.
I'm on the left now.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Dude,
I don't think it's
actually
stick, but it's weird like that he even does that. And
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's not hard to like change your opinions. Like, I mean, this is probably something that he did behind the scenes, like for a long time before like making the decision or whatever. So like maybe it sticks, and hopefully it does. But that reminds me of like a comedy bit where there's like there was this guy basically who was sitting there talking. He's like, he looks like every frat guy you've ever seen ever. Like he's just like he's like kind of tan. He has like the basic like haircut where it's like kind of swooped back.
He's the
like,
Brian, the Kyle, the Kev.
And so it's like he's got like a nice generic smile, and he's wearing like a button up that's like partially open with like khaki shorts and like boat shoes. And I'm like, I've seen this man so many times like around where I live. And he's just like talking about. He's like, do you know what it's like being like someone who believes the way I do and looking the way I do? He's like, because like anytime like they have people like with Black Lives Matter and they're like doing all these supports, they're like Black Lives Matter. He's like, hell yeah, brother, and they're like, yeah, like support all this stuff and like doing all this. He's like, yeah, I agree, and they're like, fuck white people. And he goes, hey man, that's me. I don't know. I don't know if you say that, like that's not very cool. And then he's like, and then like some like Nazi guy will come and tap me on the shoulder and goes, I know what you're saying, brother. He's like,
that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
And he goes, oh no, I'm not with you. He's like, just because I don't agree with that point specifically they're making over there does not mean I'm with you. But he's like, but look at how I do. People just assume that. It was like a very.
I feel like in the political sphere, I feel like that's what a lot of people. I feel like most people are secretly just centrist, but like we're so chronically online, we only see the extreme like right or the extreme left, and it's insane because it does affect how campaigns go. People get really upset, and I mean like that's why they say every 2 elections the sides always swap. It's like Republican, then you hate it, and you might get a Republican again, then it goes back to Democrat. You never get more than 2 cycles of the same thing. Yeah. And I'm like, it's weird to see some of those extremists calming the fuck down. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, they're just not as vocal as they is anymore. You know, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like people are vocal and like extremists about everything. It's like not even just like political stuff. People will like have the most absurd like extremist views. People will be like, man, you know, just not a big fan of like 3 meat on like pizza. Like, I don't like that much meat on my pizza. And people be like,
why the fuck do you put meat on your pizza?
They're like, this is the problem with America right now.
Yeah. And it's like pop up on it. Like, this man just said he did.
Yeah, I just
Papa John's.
They're like, I just really, you know, I just don't think Canadian bacon is just not how it is. I like sausage and pepperoni. What can I say?
The one comment that's like, that's a very valid response, and like I respect that. And then there's the next response, which is, I would burn your house down if you were near me. And it's like, can't we have a balance somewhere?
Like please.
Goddamn, please, I beg of you.
On Instagram, I'm a nightmare in the comments. I'm so fucking mean to people because I genuinely believe this with all my heart. Everyone on Instagram is fucking stupid. Like all of the people who comment on Instagram are brain dead. They put the most awful takes out there and they say terrible things like it's normal.
It's worse than Twitter?
Oh, absolutely. I think the difference is Instagram is just so flooded with porn, no one goes through the comments. They're just going,
that's fair.
Shit.
But that's the thing, is how can you be angry at Instagram when you're just looking at porn, like, right? Like,
that's the thing. Once you get out of that and, you know, you're a person like me who
once you stop
post territory, you start seeing a lot of comments and
you got that post-nut clarity. You're just like...
I never hit the clarity, bro.
It ain't clear at all.
I stay a degenerate the whole time. I'm the problem with society. But like there was like this one video of this woman yelling at like kids. They ding dong ditched. You know, kids ding dong ditched. They ran into the elevator like a bunch of fucking morons. But she came in and she's like, you fucking morons can't be doing this shit. I'm gonna tell your fucking mom, your grown ass. And there's like most people, you know, they're like, hey, you know, I would just ding dong ditch again, which, while not the correct response, very funny and probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then another subset that were like, yeah, those kids deserved it. And it was like, you yelling like that is why kids are going to keep doing it. You need to learn how to level.
You're fueling the fire.
Chill.
Yeah.
And like when you have this normal conversation with someone who's never had someone who's good at arguing with them because they only interact with people from Instagram and not someone like me, they have a lot of trouble dealing with my ass because I make them feel so bad. And I had the conversation with the guy, and then it's crazy how many people will like read your point and then just harp on it now. Now everybody read my thing, and there's like 20 comments just repeating what I said. And it's just hive mind. It's terrible because I'm like, I want this guy to understand why this is like mistreating kids and not going to help them get any better. But instead, what I get is a bunch of people repeating what I said. And now this guy is more closed off and going, hey, no, I'm not the idiot.
It's just not a good.
Sheep.
Yeah, it
doesn't work.
Wake up, America. Yeah, that type of shit.
Wake up, sheeple.
Like in politics, I think it's the same thing where like they've been so far right that even if they're like, yeah, maybe this is a little fucked up, someone goes, you're a piece of shit. And then they go, no, you know what? Fuck you. I'm right. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Or someone on the hyper left who's like, man, we should kill every single person who makes more money than me. And then, you know, the rich people are like, what? Fuck you. I'm going to be on the right now.
Yeah.
We did just pass hour and a half, just in case you guys are wondering.
Yeah, I saw this. I wanted to do one more touch on a topic and then we can call it. I wanted to get into Piggy's thing. What did you, so comedic awakening.
Comedic awakening.
I wanted to talk about,
So, talked about this because me and Nate, who is one of our streamer friends and part of the Boisterous Boys, we talked about this a while ago where we had it was after you did like your list of like people, your tier list of who's funny, like, you know, like, and we're like, okay, well, like, when did people start becoming funny, right? And for me, like, I kind of always, I developed it throughout, I would say probably middle school, and then high school is like really where my comedic awakening happened. Like, you know, it's because I learned to cope with a lot of stuff through comedy and make a lot of quick jokes because I was rather soft spoken a lot of the times. Yeah. And so I would make like quick, witty comments, and it's like, yeah, one-liners, right? Like, yeah, just get what I can in, and like people think it's funny, and then people like you more. And like, it was really like junior year is like when I figured out, like, because there was a lot of time playing games. Like, I got my first computer when at like 9th grade, right? I got my first like laptop in like 7th grade, and then I got my first desktop in 9th grade. And so I'd play like CS:GO or whatever, and like I'd be like just playing games, and then people would be like, you're like funny," and I'd be like, no, you're capping, on God, for real. And it's just like one day it just hit, and I thought about it, and I was like,
hey, I'm funny.
I think I am funny.
Yeah.
And that flipped a switch where then I became like I had an ego. I went from nothing to like, I have a reputation to uphold. That like I have to be funny, and that was like kind of my like comedic awakening, because, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it the self like realization of that?
Yeah, like that self realization that you have like an innate level of humor. Because like, I'm not gonna lie,
like above the cut of the rest.
Some people don't. I said this the other day because I hung out with some work friends, and like we played Overwatch, and that was, I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to the homies from work, like, you guys are great to work with, snooze fest in that lobby. I'm not gonna, like, I was falling asleep. Yeah, like, because people would just, they're gaming, and like they're not even like cracking jokes. They're not being like, oh man, this Widowmaker dumpster on me. Oh, that's it. I'm gonna dumpster on her mom, bro. Like, I'm getting in, like, just throwing something, just anything out. It's just nothing. It was silent, just sweat. Game, like, this isn't like fun gaming. I like gaming where it's like people getting like rambunctious. They're making
a little mean, a little funky.
They're getting they're
funny.
They're saying stuff. They're making jokes and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just, there's some people who don't have it.
Like Valor, just talking with people like that. Bro. Like people who are like secretly funny the whole time, but you like pull it out of them. Because you don't really talk to people. You have to drag it out, but like once they get there, they're hilarious. Like, there's some people who have it, and some people who have to develop it, you know?
Ace is fun. Ace has gotten, whether or not you see this, Ace is a streamer friend of ours, another one.
My roommate.
We've been playing, in Piggy's roommate. We've been playing a lot of Valorant together recently, and there's something about Valorant that just drives me and Ace just like a little further out. Like, I've always been kind of like angry gamer kind of guy, where I'm just like, I'm getting heated, I'm getting worked up, because I don't let that out anywhere else. I don't want to like shit on people in any other setting. But it's like getting to the point where it's just like, we'll be sitting there and someone will like tap Ace and like get a good flank on him or something. And he'll be just like, I'm gonna fuck my own ass, and he'll just be like just screaming like these insane like thoughts. And that's what I do too. So it's just me and Ace being like, I think the best thing of this was like Nate was in the call with us, and we were all playing, and I'm like trying to like listen, because like noise is like very important in Valorant. And Ace is like sitting there and he's like doing stuff, and Nate's like trying to like backseat me as I hear someone like next to me like walking up, and I'm trying to like focus so hard, and Nate just will not shut up. And he was, and he just keeps talking, and I'm trying to like make a shot, and then Nate like continues to talk after I die, and I'm like, Nate, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna slit your goddamn throat. And I'm just popping off in like the worst way, being so incredibly aggressive. Because I think
pulls out the worst in you. Like, it really does.
It does. It's just there's something that's very funny to me, and maybe this is like me being wrong, and I probably am. But being like hyper aggressive in bursts is like very funny to me.
It is.
I think it's funny. I really enjoy it. I only do it in Overwatch. In Valorant, if you tilt even a little bit, you lose.
Yeah.
It's so bad because like you lose focus for even a little bit. You get a little aggressive. The adrenaline brings in that field of view from that full 103 down to a 40, and you only see what's right in front of you. You don't think. And then you get one tapped, and then you get angrier, and then you can't do anything because you keep getting worse.
Yeah, but that's
like for sure.
It's what I mean. Yeah,
you're on ADHD mode anyway. You're aiming everywhere. You're shooting randomly. That shit's crazy. I get so fucking aggressive on that game.
Yeah, well, that's when we were talking like comedic awakening, like those outbursts. You're channeling your rage into something positive. Like you're gonna say something that's gonna make someone laugh, right? It's like when you're playing, a league match, and like the guy on the other side, instead of just saying like you're shit at the game, you suck, they just say some like out of the blue comment about some, and you're like, what? Yeah. And you're like, you have to think, and you're like,
my goodness, this is why your dad walked out.
Yeah, they're like, that's crazy. He ain't come back for 7 years for you to come and play this garbage in top lane, and you're like,
no wonder.
You're like, oh my god, holy fuck.
Or was it what was it that the one guy said? Jesus Christ, I'm about to make you my son. Like instead of I'm gonna fuck your mom. Like damn, bro.
It's so funny, man.
It's so much funnier, and it's like it makes the game so much. Even if you're mad, it makes the game so much better when people are like able to channel.
Release, bro.
It's good, sure. Yeah, and like a lot of people have it.
Being mad in like a way that's like you are being like over the top angry and like stuff is like way better, because I know it's like half joking, but also you're like kind of letting it go. This is way better than the people, because when I'm actually mad, I will go silent and I will just like.
I feel like everyone reaches that,
and then I just mute, and I'm like, it's because I'm like, I don't want to like say mean things to people. I'm not actually this way, so I just like when I know I'm gonna say actual hurtful things, I'll just be like, I need to shut the fuck up.
It's like I say I feel gray, like I seethe. I have no other emotion. I am fully null. I am angry. I feel all the anger, but I can no longer release it because I am so unbelievably mad. All of the adrenaline is still pumping in me. And if I say anything, I might break something. So I'm like, I am just going to calmly keep playing this. And it's like the calmest rage you could ever have. And honestly, in those moments, I swear I play like 10 times better. Like it's crazy. You hit a new type of flow. It's like a rage flow.
It's what I notice. A lot of people, they don't have like the crazy outbursts where they're like, oh, I'm getting mad, I should try and like crack a joke to like alleviate some stress from me and get some rage out. A lot of people just go straight to that like gripping a controller, crushing a controller. Like,
oh, bro.
I've only ever broke one controller, and like that was at a silly little. It was a silly little Big Planet 2 racing game, and I got a little upset, and maybe I threw a controller at a wall.
It's always the dumbest things that get you, dude. It's always the dumbest things. Mine was MLB The Show, and I was playing it online with a friend, and we were drinking, and he was literally lived like 2 apartments down from me. So a lot of times we like run over to each other. We just start like wrestling and stuff, like fighting each other, and then I run back and we start playing the game again. I've been drinking. And I sat there, and I like he goes and he like hits it, and it goes almost all the way to like the outfield. And I have a guy that's already there, and I'm like, "This is great. He's out. Like this should be a game. I'm gonna win." And the guy goes, and it hits him in the chest and falls on the ground. The AI doesn't do anything, and then pirouettes and spins in a circle and like doesn't know what to do. And I'm losing my goddamn mind. I'm like, what are you fucking mean? And I'm just like smashing my controller over my like table in front of me. And I'm just like, what that's not fair. And he has like 4 people like running bases. It's like a grand slam basically. It's just not stopping. And I lose a game because of it. And he comes over and he goes, hey man, can I have some of your Red Baron pizza that you cooked? And he just like takes like a victory slice from me. Almost like it's like he won that. And then he goes back to his apartment. Yeah, I was like, you son of a bitch.
I knew I had a problem as a kid. I used to play on Xbox all the time. Terrible time per usual. I played so much Call of Duty Black Ops. It got so bad at a point. I bought 3 controllers, and there was one game where I sat there. Someone quickscope 360'd me from across the map. Remote shattered. I picked up the next one, and I just started playing again.
Start gaming.
As if nothing happened.
It's like people buy extra keyboards and shit. They're like playing someone fucking absolutely dumpsters them. They just smack it over their knee, slide a new one out the box.
There's a League streamer who does Trick 2G. Honestly, in my opinion,
where he just
kind of a piece of shit. But,
like
he just.
But he does those funny
will,
clips.
Get up and like snaps like the keyboard over his legs, throws it behind him, and pulls out another keyboard and just starts playing again. It's like insane.
It's like
And
when
the
you
shit is,
got the
like,
money for that.
that's-
Oh man, you got a
Yeah, I
problem.
mean, you go
It's
for it.
crazy, but like you don't realize how fucking nice it feels, especially with me who didn't have therapy at the time, and
Yeah.
I had IAD. When I raged out, I did that. I was instantly calm again. I was like, it's all gone.
Yep.
And I'm right back in the game because I got another fucking controller because I knew that was gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
It's
And I
smart.
was
So,
just
to
fully
kind of
prepared.
transition us back because I don't want to do
yeah,
the thing where
comedic
we
timing.
do yeah
Where we get
so
off a
it's just
tangent.
comedic awakening because we
Yeah,
do that a lot
yeah.
and it's like I know
It's
Nate
very
was
fun.
like
When did
Nate
you
fucking
realize
processed
that
Shut
you were
up,
funny?
Nate.
When did you realize that you were funny?
hey Nate I love you homie
Fuck you, Nate.
Fuck you, Nate.
okay
That's a 1 out of 3 vote, Nate. You know what? You can say you got a
Sorry.
33%. It's kind of passing
yeah
somewhere, maybe.
not in school
But yeah, my comedic awakening. I'd say in high school I was the Rizzler by accident. I got really good at talking with women.
Okay.
After years of not talking to anyone, and then like in college, like basically as soon as I was free from my mother's clutches, as soon as I had no influence from my family, and I felt nothing for anyone around me, and I was truly unveiled. I was just reckless with speech, and I would say whatever I thought, and usually what I thought was really fucking funny to people. A lot of people just found me very charming and felt like I had a lot to say and that I was very intelligent in college. Before that, I feel like people just thought I was kind of quiet and nerdy, maybe a little bit ghetto, and then that was kind of it. But like I'd say probably around the time I got into my first computer science class when I met Kyle, actually, when I
Computer
just kinda
science
sat
kids,
there.
funny as hell.
Yeah,
And that's just
very
on God.
very.
For sure.
They're either socially inept or fucking hilarious.
They hilarious. as
And
fuck.
the teacher fucking despised me. Fuck you, dude. He kept saying I plagiarized my work. I didn't plagiarize my work, you fucking idiot. I was just good at it. But
See,
yeah,
this is us getting it out of our system, like we were talking about earlier. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
This is good.
Yeah. Just throw
like,
a computer
he looked
science
at me and
controller.
said something. He threw a random question at me, and I answered it, and he was like, "Well, that's kind of correct." I was like,
He didn't want to give you the
Well,
full gratitude.
"You know, do I get some kind of
He's like-
points?" And like,
like,
I got a
"Fuck it
few
up."
laughs.
well,
and
I
then he
mean,
just got
technically,
really
you're
upset.
technically you're right, I guess, or whatever.
But yeah, I coded a
5
thing,
extra
and
credit points.
it was like whatever I coded. It just was an elaborate shitpost where you went through all of the steps. You did currency conversions, and if you put in, I think, like 6969 or something, it would just do nice, or like 1337, it would be like leet. And I would for all of the currency conversions, if the currency happened to land on that exact number. Right after it was just like an extra argument, like nice or something, and people saw that, and the few people who were obviously fucking around with the code, because you have to usually do a group thing where you would pass it on and someone would troubleshoot your code. They saw that and they laughed. They thought it was funny. They were like, "Hey, this is cute."
That's
And
nice.
I had conversations with all these people, and I got really close with a girl named Mattia. I got really close with Kyle, and both of them were basically very quiet people who had my same sense of humor but weren't as open about it. And I was like, damn, maybe if I just opened up more, I could be funnier. And so I did, and then a lot of people seem to enjoy that. So hey, it's
Nice,
working
bro.
out.
Hey,
Hey.
let's go, small streamer gang. Let's go get baby. We're fucking bumping out.
Yeah, baby. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
what about. Woo.
I would say so. Like, so what was the area? You said like junior high or high school? Was that like when you came into like knowing you were funny? When was like the defining moment? You're like, I am funny. I am like.
I started nicknaming people, and they would use their nicknames because other people really enjoyed them. Like there was a small girl who had a bit of an accent, and I would just be like, "Oh, what's up, my leprechaun?" And she just thought it was cute, and she would call me Leprechaun Bat. So I was like, "Oh, look at us, we're double lucky," and people would like that shit, and it would be like small jokes like that that would build up, and
Okay.
where I would make inside jokes between what I thought were just me and my friends that would spread across the school. So I guess like maybe towards the second to last year of high school, going into college, I thought I was
Junior
really
year?
funny.
Solid.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Junior year's where it's at.
Junior.
No pressure, chump.
Was that where?
Yeah, no pressure.
Okay. Apparently, I did. Mine was definitely before junior year for sure.
Oh,
Because
Really?
my
Early
thing was that
bloomer.
like,
I always know why you're so
So,
funny. A lot of time to develop.
hey, I gotta start somewhere. So in the beginning, there was the heavens, the earth. In the beginning,
Okay.
there was I went. Hey, you know, I don't know fucking why I did that. Namaste. But I was homeschooled whenever I like first started. But my parents were very like adamant about homeschooling because they wanted to like make us do like Bible courses and stuff. They were very Christian leaning, so that was kind of like a big thing for them. And then after that, I went to whenever they realized they didn't have the time for it anymore. They were bad at it. I didn't know how to read or spell like until like third grade.
Shit.
Because like my mom was just like she tried, she genuinely did. She was just not good at like leading me down the path. And a lot of times I was just kind of like, I just didn't know. I didn't know how to do it. And so I went to a private school that was also Christian based. And I failed every single spelling test and all this stuff. And like it was a bad time. And then eventually they just realized I couldn't afford that. And I moved to public schools. Public schools is what changed me. Because it was always like kind of funny, but like I wasn't open about it. I wasn't confident. I didn't have anything like early on. And then we went to public schools and I got bullied. Like on my first day. I got like I like went on the playground and there's like people playing like kickball and stuff, and I walked out there and I was like kind of like hands in my pockets, just like in the dirt, you know, like waddling over.
I could play kickball.
I just like, hey guys, can you play kickball? I like kickball.
I've kicked a can.
And I walked over there and there was like a few people who like walked over to me and were like, hey, you know, are you like the new guy or whatever? I'm like, yeah, I'm Caleb. Like, nice to meet you. And then they were like, okay, they're like talking to me. And then randomly, the guy pushes me. And there was somebody who had gone behind me and like done the tabletop thing where they get on all fours. And so I turned to try to catch myself. I went face first in mud and like just got like absolutely covered on my first day. And so I was like heartbroken. And I was like very upset about it. And then like I went back to school the next few days. And I started to realize it made me more socially aware. And I was like, the funny guys don't get picked on. I'm gonna be a funny guy. I'm gonna be a funny guy. And I actually intentionally set my sights trying to be funny. But I think the moment where I'm like, I knew I was funny was because I was the insane guy. I wasn't the guy that was like do like little quips or anything like that, like outbursts.
Just do shit.
I would just do shit. Like we'd be sitting in class and it would be like dead silent.
Yeah, we would have been good friends.
I had like the third like desk from the front, and I had like a piece of paper in my hand, and the teacher turns to like go and write something on the board. I leap from my desk and fucking NBA Jam slam the paper into the trash can laying out on the floor for no reason, just out of nowhere, and everyone's just like dying at it. Just had no idea where it came from or why I would do something like that. Just cuz I did so much. The time that I know I was funny was in 8th grade specifically, and I had like a thing of chocolate milk. And I was like sitting there, I had it in my hands, and we were just like talking about like, I don't even remember what we were fucking talking about. We were just shooting the shit basically, like walking in a courtyard. And I just like stop and like freeze. And I just spin in like a circle. And I just scream at the top of my lungs, like 360 no scope. And I chunk the carton of milk and just like splatter it all across the wall. And it just explodes and gets everywhere. And I turn around, and as I like stop and like stand up and like look, there's just like a substitute teacher standing right behind me. And I'm just like, fuck. It's just like, it just came out of my mouth without actually like thinking about it. It was just like, fuck. And he goes, we're going to go talk to the cafeteria, like, see what we should do with you. And they were, dude, I don't know about y'all's cafeteria ladies were. Mine were fucking mean. Mine were like
mine's were really nice. I liked mine.
They were like, hey, you
they would give me
fucking
extra food.
write this man up. You send him to detention. You put this man on the list for hell itself. I want him gone.
The idea of 8th grade you turning around,
milk at the wall. I ain't gonna lie.
Facing that.
I deserved it. Yeah, I'll never deny that I like deserved all the shit that I got because I spent like over half of my year in 7th grade in like ISS. But that's just because like I couldn't shut the fuck up. That's mostly what it was.
That shit is the type of shit it's why I said shit 3 times in the same sentence. It's why me and Nate say that you've lived like 3 lives in the span that we've lived 1. The stories you have are just absolutely fucking insane. They're crazy. Like,
I had no inhibitions as a kid. Like,
and it's hilarious.
It's all good. Everything's just leveled out, and then and then it's all good.
Never it's crazy.
Super happy, never something super exciting or crazy like that. But it's always like contentment. I reach at a point.
I lived for doing like the dumb thing because I was always like, I still kind of have this mindset where I'm like, even if it ends up being
Will
a
it
bad
blend?
thing, I'm like, it's like it will be funny and it'll be a story.
It's
and
a
I will
story
have
to
something
tell your
talk to
grandkids.
people. Yeah, and so I'm like, if I have something to tell people later, worth 1,000% because it's like entertaining and like fun. It's just a good time. And so it's like no matter how stupid my things were, I always enjoyed it.
You
and it was even funnier
you develop the content mindset.
Exactly. At an early age. For the content was like what my brain did at all times because I was like, I have to be the funny man. But then after like that instance, I started to realize because people were like, dude, you're fucking insane. You're like crazy. So they're like hyping me up and stuff. And I was like, dude, I am funny. Like I'm just like kind of like goated. Like,
I
got
goated with the
weirdly
sauce.
like confident and like egotistical about it. This is why I've always been the weird duality of man because a lot of people be like, they're like, you just don't seem very like confident. I'm like, no. I'm confident in the things that I know that I'm good at, and you can't convince me other. Yeah, like there was a friend of mine who like tried to roast me about like not being funny, and I'm like, you're just wrong, and I just like walked off.
It's just not true. But
it's just not true, and it's like it's why whenever. So this came up because we were doing the tier list of like listing all of our friends of like who's funny and who's not when we were drinking and stuff one day.
They consented to be on the list.
Shit cut out.
Yeah, they did consent to be on the list. I want to make that clear. I wasn't like I randomly was just like
I was
I'm gonna put
considered
you here
pretty high.
Yeah, I was like
top of the list, like, baby.
Hey, dude, Piggy's just got like Piggy has the type of comedy that I'm not a master at, which is like quippy and like being like fast on his feet. I'm just not that way. I wish I was,
my favorite.
But I'm
purely referential humor. I know a lot of things, which is really. I have the benefit. I've always been a smart kid. I was like mentally gifted and stuff. And as I went through the years, I was always considered like higher upper echelon. Didn't mean shit as I got older. All that stuff they were hyping me up about. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna be something great. Look at you. You're so intelligent." It didn't mean nothing, bro. I wish I spent the time being a funny piece of shit in school. I would have done so much better. My God, like I didn't try to be funny at all. I hyper focused on work. I didn't like people who would always waste their time not doing work. And then, like, at high school, that's when I stopped giving a fuck because my mom was hard focusing on me going to, like, Harvard. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking Harvard. Are you out of your mind?
That's where
like,
nerds
I'm not trying to get a scholarship for that shit. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of time. I am far too lazy for that. And it's like, all my humor now is, like, a lot of internalized small moving parts where I'm like, oh, did you guys hear about this? Do you know about this, like, strange, obscure topic? I'm like 4chan in a person. I'm the degeneracy and terrible things that's on the internet. Then I filter it out for your viewing enjoyment.
Oh my God.
Yeah, mine's has definitely devolved into people say they're talking about something, and I will find a quick way to describe that exact action. I joined the Discord alternative. I joined the Discord, and the first thing I heard was everyone saying, "Give me your penis." Cut it off. And I was like, oh, we cutting it off in solidarity? I'll go grab my Piatine. And they're like, it's a pee-pee guillotine. It's a penis guillotine.
I assume.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I was like, you're like, I got Piatine, and my brain went creatine? Like, it's just like penis powder? I'm like, I don't know how that fits the situation.
I don't get this. This doesn't make any sense.
I am a pun master because of that too. I love wordplay. Like wordplay is just how many words can you memorize and how weirdly can you put them together? Mm-hmm. And it's so fucking dirt easy. It's why puns are considered the lowest like braid of humor. But I fucking love that shit. I live for that shit. Piatine is
Piatine.
Top tier, keeping that in my mind.
The French hate him.
Circumcision? Nah, Piatine, baby.
Eunuch who? Nah.
Oh, damn. Got it.
But that's basically all we had to talk about.
We've gone a half hour over our intended time.
I said like
we're working on it.
45 minutes is usually, we don't want to go 3 hours this time. 2 hours is fine.
We'll cut a lot of it probably. There's probably a lot of us rambling to each other.
Oh, for sure. But it's fine. So, guys, if you have anything you want to like announce or anything you want to say before we end the podcast, feel free now. Speak your piece.
I've been streaming a lot on twitch.tv/Baldy. I've been doing a series called The Free to Play Delusion. If you want to see how bad Overwatch free to play is, come on and join me. You will see a lot of really upset me. Aside from that, feel free to follow me on YouTube, where I'll be posting a lot of shorts about the same thing. So if you too would like to ruin your ADHD brain, allow me to add to your algorithm. Go ahead, Chunky.
All right, your turn, Ian. Go for it.
I've been working on a whole new like guide series for games because I do a lot of 100%ing. I'm doing Skyrim, my next one. Started editing that down. That'll be coming out shortly. And do occasionally stream over twitch.tv /Lil_Pawungi. That's Piggy spelled with a 1. Don't fuck it up. That's about it. Otherwise,
P1GY.
Yeah, P1GY. No double G.
No double G. Because there's only one G. And
that's
him.
me.
That's
exactly.
He's the Pawungi.
He is the one Pawungi. And guys, in case you want to follow me, I do stream on twitch.tv/BigChunk53. And I do sporadically post on TikTok and YouTube, maybe sometimes if you want to follow those two. You want to follow my Instagram that I've never used in the 3 years that I've created, you fucking go ahead and you slap that follow button. But as for right now, you know where to find us. We're always 3 dorms down. Maybe.
Or something like that.
Or Pobscast.
Pops.
The One Piece is real. The One Piece is real. Buy gold. We live in a simulation. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Stop trying to run.